Futures back to the highs here this morning as we get going on Tuesday morning ahead of more important economic data coming up a little bit later in the week. This week we'll get a couple of readings on inflation. There's not a heck of a lot to worry about on the economic calendar today. Tomorrow, though, this time, make sure you're with us. We'll get CPI for August. The latest reading on inflation ahead of the Fed coming up next week. All eyes, on the presidential debate after the close, after dinner, after everything tonight. 9 p.m. Like, don't they know we have to get up early in the morning? It's going to be a late one tonight, but definitely worth a watch. There's the NASDAQ back to highs, as I mentioned. Tech leading the way yesterday. We basically closed on the highs after a bit of a choppy session, gapped up, held the gap on the initial test back lower, and then it was just back and forth for most of the session. Oracle to the upside today. We'll talk about that coming up. A decent report for them. What's the fallout going to be for Apple, I think, more importantly, and a lot of people are going to be focused on that after the iPhone 16 event yesterday. It really wasn't anything, I think, people weren't caught by surprise. Nope. There was nothing out of the ordinary in the event. It's just going to come down to September 20th, I guess, when they start rolling off the shelf, what those numbers look like.
Yeah, it was all pretty well telegraphed, Brendo, right? We already knew ahead of time what was going to be coming in. Apple intelligence still going to be released here, but the focus for me today is on digesting exactly what was released yesterday at the Glow Time event, but there's also that $14.5 billion that they're supposedly on the hook for after the ECJ decision. Essentially, it's back taxes for Ireland. That shouldn't eat into too much of the free cash flow, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Lots to talk about today. Google also under the knife as well, on the hook for some money with the EU, and BABA getting added to an exchange there, making it easier for mainland investors to invest on the Hang Seng.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Chinese ADRs for a week or two, but worth a look today. Here's Apple, meanwhile, 0.7 downside, gapping down 2 days in a row here. It did rally into the close yesterday with the overall market, but we'll see what happens here. Kind of a meh kind of start to the day here for Apple so far. We showed that Huawei, the tri-folding phone that they launched yesterday before the Apple event. I saw this morning the price tag on that. It's going to be $2,800.
Like, Brendo, they've sold like 2.5 million orders already, pre-orders.
That's just crazy. That. Yeah, I'm not spending $3,000 on a cell phone. That's nuts. Neil under the weather today. Obi's in, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going, Sean?
Not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad.
Yeah, that's 2,800 US. I think we're talking about like 3,500 Canadian or something for that phone. One of those or 3 iPhone 16s, your choice. Okay, they're not. That Huawei's going to be a failure. Okay, so just looking here at Apple. This is Tesla. What am I talking about? Well, wait a minute. One says Apple, one says Tesla. What's going on? All right, there we go. We'll change that over. Yeah, as Brendan said, we actually nailed this stock yesterday. We put it right where we needed to, and we let it settle down. We talked about not trading this all event, and I think that was about right. There's the move. And I don't know when the event started. Was it 12? It was 1 o'clock, actually, wasn't it? So it started to make its way back up, and then the drop happened. I don't know what people were expecting. I think they got everything that they expected. I don't know if the new iPhone is going to be hot or not, but at the end of the day, it's what you're going to need to have the AI movement for Apple, right? And I feel like there is going to be a super cycle. I don't know. They only have 18% or something of global market share. I think they can jack that up a little bit higher. I think they can get more in China if there is that 3 million. I heard the same thing about the 3 million order there on the Huawei's. And I'm just excited for what's going to happen with Apple, right? They still have a huge install base. I really like the company. The service is just kicking. The watch is good. I think everything is a jam there, right? We don't obviously talk about the Vision Pro anymore, but if that can get going, I think there's something there as well. So for me, for Apple today, it's going to probably be a wait and see if we can dip into some support levels that we had yesterday. But what we did yesterday was wait for this break to happen. And as soon as it did, we were long here. It's funny because, we have to keep talking about it, but we were long there at 218, 218.20 break, and we talked about that trade. And it ended up for a $3 winner at the end of the day. So that was a really hot trade, and I think you just got to wait for these trades to come through, right? I mean, the 20-minute chart is a good one as well, up to 222. I think we can get to that level today, and then we'll see if there's some action there. So I'm not super excited about Apple. It is down today. That $13 billion, I mean, for many companies, that's a market cap. For Apple, That's
A
lint.
little bit of pocket. Yeah, I guess lint.
Not even pocket.
Yeah,
change.
that's
like
perfect.
what just fell out of my pocket by accident.
By accident, yeah, I like
for
that.
Apple. So I'm
some interesting products indeed. I think some interesting features.
I don't know if it's
some
going to
of their products,
move
but
the envelope or not. I think the thing is just the upgrade cycle. Let's see if it gets upgraded.
yeah.
Who are me and you to judge? Like, oh, that AI was not that good. Like, give me a break. At the end of the day, will customers buy the phone? I think that's what we'll have to wait for.
I think just based off of history with the kind of Apple with the trend setting that Apple kind of does, I think that people will definitely be buying a lot of their products. Yeah. But something interesting to note is that yesterday we ran up into the close, pretty much closing above the opening price. So we reverted pretty much as if the ticker almost never opened. Right, pretty much open and close it near the same place on Apple. Should be interesting. A lot of strength into the end of the day after that event happened. So I will be watching Apple for sure today. We're trading above 18.7s right now on the Nasdaq. So.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited for this day again. 18.7. I mean, I'd like to get up to 20,000 again.
Yeah.
You know, let's see if we can get there.
Nice.
I don't know if
we'll get,
I don't know if we'll get there in September. Ooh.
Red month September.
We'd be scared about September, my guy. I mean,
why is that?
This is big time selling.
It's not even Halloween.
In September. Very big time happening. Trading downside in September. So far, so good for that theory. I think it's overplayed. Let's see what winds up happening over the next couple of days. Look, when I woke up today, the Nasdaq was down 0.5% or more than that. I can't remember. Now you're just cruising to the upside right now, up 0.28, and still motoring here is the market and Apple.
All right, a few things ahead of the debate coming up tonight, later on this evening, that's worth noting. As far as the Fed is concerned, coming up next week with the latest meeting and interest rate decision, whether it's going to be quarter point, whether it's going to be 50 basis point cut coming through, there's still lots of opinions, lots of debate going on whether or not which way they'll go. It's worth noting, this is the dollar index. We haven't been down here for quite some time, but chopping around. This is a daily chart, chopping around just above. This is 100 on the DXY. Hasn't been down here in quite some time. Last kind of stopping point was 106, and then you got to go back to beginning of 2023. We topped out up at 114, so it's been stuck in this range. I mean, I just ran through some of the yields as well. I mean, 10 years at multi-month lows, 30 years at multi-month lows, 2-year looking very similar. So all signs are pointing to, you know, this is the time, whether it's going to be a quarter point or 50 basis points remains to be seen here.
Yeah, it feels like the DXY is pricing in that 1% rate cut that you were talking about a couple of days ago, Brendo, because that's kind of the feeling you get here. Although we may get 25 basis points here, it's a matter about how they schedule them. It's going to be one big one or incremental like the Bank of Canada has done. Here's the 2-year and the 10-year, guys, as Brenda was mentioning. Look at these patterns here. You know, just continually lower lows, lower highs, whether it's on the 10-year, which is on the right side of the screen, or the 2-year, which is on the left. 3.56 now for the 2-year. We were holding 4.2 for quite some time. Same thing with the 10-year, down into that 3.6. But interesting look here, Brendo. The 10-year now ahead of the 2-year, 3.7 on the 10-year, 3.6 on the 2-year. So that uninverting now.
Finally, yeah, man, it's been, I'd have to go back and look at a chart, but years, inverted for years, the longest in history, in fact, on the yield curve. You mentioned, just to switch gears here, you mentioned this one, Alibaba, nice gap up through to 84. I mean, this thing's been kind of slowly grinding on the daily chart. Back to the top end of the range. We haven't been up here since May, June. Levels coming back into play. Going to start trading on the Shenzhen in mainland.
Yeah, it's a good look here. So they're going to be included in what they call the Stock Connect scheme. I'll get it right. And it's allowing mainland investors to basically trade eligible Hong Kong shares. Goldman Sachs chiming in here. They're estimating approximately $2 to $3 billion of net inflows by the end of the year. And they're saying total inflows could reach 11 billion. Didn't specify a time though, Brendo.
Yeah, it hasn't really done much here this morning. If you zoom in a little bit, this is a 15-minute chart. Gaps higher, kind of grinding sideways, but nice start anyways, guys, for Alibaba this morning.
Yeah, that's good. Morgan Stanley expecting 17 to 37 billion over the next couple of years inflows. So I think that's going to be good in the next couple of years, though. Let's see if that can help Alibaba. I mean, we really like this name. We've been buying this name for a while. but haven't bought it in a while, but we like the name. I mean, I like the name down here. It failed that last run at, I mean, I remember when we bought it down here at 71 or 2. And then we were like, oh yeah, it's up 30% or something. It went up $20 almost in a straight line up there into 90. And then it fell as everyone else started buying it on the way back in. And then it could not hold the $80 mark and back into 72. And that was a bad moment for it. It did come back into this level again, $74 on August 5th, of course. And now you're looking to break higher on Alibaba. It's still supporting the 50-period moving average. I really like the stock. I love to be buying this down at $80. You had that opportunity 2 days ago. You don't anymore. I'm not sure about the break. It's not going to be on the sticky note here today for Alibaba. It still looks too choppy for me. I'd rather trade this thing above this 86 mark. But until we get there, I think it's a stay away for me for Alibaba. I don't mind the volume, 300,000 shares, but 81.50, I guess, could be a spot for yesterday's close. I just don't think we're going down. I think we're going up. So if we're doing that on Alibaba, up 3% today, will they sell the news? I think the market's up. I think we want to trade strong names. I feel like Alibaba on a dip is where we want to look. The 200 period of 82.50, I think, is in play. So we can try that out. I don't know, but you got any levels there? I mean, 82.50 is back here as well. Maybe there's 82.50.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a gap up on that catalyst happening today. So yeah, I like that 82 kind of yesterday's close. Yeah. I think that's very fair. That's a place to watch if it can get back down there. But I do agree with you. A little bit of a gap up. Let's see if we can get that gap up continuation. Prior resistances you see here, prior high at that 85.79. So yeah, I'll be watching if it can get through some of those 85s right there. A bit of a head and shoulders if you want to call it, but triple top. We've been making higher highs and higher lows, building up into it post earnings as well, and now we're getting some good news with a bit of a gap up. But the gap up is happening within the range of the past couple of weeks, so I'm going to be waiting and watching to see if it hits any of the extremes of this range. 80, 82, 85.79 is the high over there. Maybe 85. We can start taking a look at it here on Alibaba.
I'm just noticing Wells Fargo here having a pretty good morning. Actually just took out the high, still moving up more than 3% now. CFO making some comments. It was a little bit earlier. It started about 8 o'clock this morning, but commenting on loan growth, saying it hasn't changed much. They haven't seen as much downside as they were expecting, saying deposits are still performing well, expects more buybacks coming through in the future as well. So Wells Fargo, pretty good start here this morning. I noticed yesterday, speaking of banks, if you go to, this is a CIBC here in Toronto, Canadian banks are having quite the month. Like this is the beginning of August. Since the beginning of August, this thing has 3 red days on a daily chart. So just straight higher. But anyway, I was just reading about Wells Fargo there. Nice start.
Yeah, interesting look for Wells Fargo, Brendo. I was reading a little bit about them. They're not going to have as much commercial exposure to some of that weak commercial real estate that we were talking about in the beginning of the year. So that's a good look for them. Separately, Wells Fargo was chiming in on Ford and GM, and they made lots of comments about these about different car companies as well. Look, they're lowering their price target for both GM and Ford at the moment. Basically, what they see is lower 2025 deliveries. And they're also seeing pricing pressure, especially when it comes to their EVs and regulatory headwinds coming up. So both Ford, I just wanted to mention these because you mentioned Wells Fargo, but both Ford and GM, Brendo, down 2 and 2 1/5 respectively.
Yeah, not good. As far as higher time frame for U.S. banks in general, nowhere near as impressive. But I mean, this is J.P. Morgan, bit of a pullback. Also worth noting, gapping higher here this morning. I mean, BAC, not BA. Boeing not gapping higher this morning, unsurprisingly. BAC back about $40 here, but struggling a little bit so far today.
Yeah, I think BAC is like the worst one. I mean, I was just looking at, as Brandon was going through some of that story there, I was like, okay, let's have a look at banks because we trade them, but we have to trade them on news and when they're moving around. So this is what JP Morgan stock looks like. Play with the king, and this is what happens. You get into the 50-period moving average, and it just bounces straight off there because people want to buy this name. You know, so again, not much volume today. But if you look at Bank of America, again, it's kind of going the other way here, trying to find its way, trying to break back above now, the 50 period, not bouncing off of it. It could be bouncing the other way, which it's done before, and it did that all the way down here to $38. So, I mean, only 100,000 volume today again for BAC. I mean, if you like the banks, Brendan started it with WFC, so let's see if this one again, just 100,000 share volume again. So pretty light today. They all don't look the same. I mean, those Canadian banks are straight up fire, and I think that might have to do with the early rate cuts. We've already had 2 rate cuts here, down half point in Canada. As the Bank of Canada makes the early move, we wait for the U.S. to go next week. I think it's the 18th, right, where they cut half a point. So we'll see, or sorry, a quarter of a point. So we'll see if that can do anything. But yeah, Wells Fargo, nicely done, up to the upside, up 3.5% right now. I like the stock here, honestly. I mean, that's a huge move down, obviously. But what about a break of 57? I still think we're a ways away from that. If you go a little bit higher, I think you could break above 57, and then maybe 57.50. Would be maybe the better break spot, because then you could use 57 as our out. Problem is, if you break through 57 here, you may, well, I mean, it's still a good trade up to 57.40. I think that could be something there. I just wonder if we can get into this area. Let's see what happens before getting super excited about going long through this area. So drastic move down, huge move yesterday, back up to $57. I think that's going to be a trigger area for Wells Fargo. So we got to see the action there. Let's get above and then see if we can hold 57 as a base. So that's something that I'm talking about there, the 200 period. I like that as an indicator. Let's see if we get above and then hold. The Wells Fargo, actually, glad Brendan brought that up. I think that's going to be on play there today with that 57 level. So let's have a look. 50 cents away. It still needs to go 1% higher to get to there. So we'll see if it's possible.
Yeah, I like the look on banks there, Sean. Something I do want to know is if we're looking at all these banks, why not look at XLF, right?
Right.
So XLF has been trending up since for majority of August, right? And we're taking a little bit of a pullback here, coming into September, almost mid-September now. 45.87 highs, but yeah, you can see this thing has been only trending up from the beginning of the year. A very strong trend on the larger time frame. This is a 3-hour chart, kind of encompassing some of that pre-market and after hours volume as well. Again, you can see that August 5th, a little bit of a dump there. We've been only bidding up. We're about 5 points above that. And yeah, with some of these banks moving around, let's see if XLF can also get moving as well. I do like the liquidity on this one a little bit better.
Just noting Apple popped up there, but so did the overall market. Back to highs, but nothing new as far as Apple is concerned, just keeping an eye on a few things that are moving around. Let's touch on Oracle here real quick. Coming off that move after the close last night, Oracle is on my stock. There we go. It took a while, but my level 2 wasn't populating. Nice move after the close yesterday. Earnings better than expected here. Really no significant downside initially. We get nice consolidation at the highs. We go out on the highs. We're gapping up 8.5% here this morning.
It's not a bad look at all, Brenda. Let's talk about how they did here. They exceeded Wall Street expectations on both the top and bottom line. Both earnings and revenue grew 8%. EPS was higher. It was an EPS surprise. Revenue was slightly higher, 13.31 billion instead of 13.25. Here's the look. They're expecting revenue growth of around 8 to 10% this quarter. And their cloud infrastructure revenue, which is essentially what we call their AI revenue, surged 45% year over year. They're also going kind of crazy with their data center build out here. They want 2,000 data centers in the near future. They're opening their second cloud segment in Saudi Arabia, so they're expanding essentially all over the world here. Good luck for Oracle.
We haven't talked about GameStop yet. How dare we? But GameStop, another one that reported after the close last night. I was just noticing most of the analyst moves here on Oracle specifically, a maintain type of action of whatever the rating was prior. There is one that I say here, JMP Securities, actually upgrading the stock this morning to outperform with a 175 price target. So another $25 to come here.
Yeah, just to correct Brendan there, because people in the chat are very excited about GameStop. It is tonight. I think that's what Brendan meant to say, but so no movement yet on GameStop here today. We'll wait for that tonight, as there's also DJT on our mind there. But here's GME, just to give you guys a quick little look here. 24.50 coming in, again, up that 1%, kind of barcoding right now. We'll see what happens with GameStop coming here tonight. The other name, of course, was Oracle. Oracle will make the sticky note today because what a banger that one was. So we'll hit the sirens there and then one of these because we just looked over and was like, oh my God, I can't believe that we still had some of these shares. We still have them all of Oracle. We were able to buy it down here, and it was a really good buy down into the $100 area for Oracle. We've been holding this name for a while. I don't even think we bought it here. I think we probably bought it back here in October, actually. Did not average in, just let this thing run, and boy, did it run. Nice move there. Taking out this 146, all 52-week high again for Oracle. We saw what happened with Palantir yesterday when Palantir was breaking through 52-week highs, past 52-week high right now, 146.50 on news. So I like the move. I think it's about a little overextended from the move. I thought we were looking at about 6% as the average move yesterday for Oracle. So today it's up 9%. Good move there. I like the stock. I wrote down a couple levels. Let's see if it comes back into 150 and holds that. That would be great. Then 148 to 200 period where we kind of danced around there. Those are some levels I'm looking at early for Oracle. But you know what it might have to be, Obi? It might have to be a break early of 153 or something like that. I mean, I'd rather not play the break, but it looks like Oracle for now wants to dance higher in the pre-market. So beat on the top line, beat on sales. Everything. Got the announcement with Google and with AWS, so more partnerships coming through here with Oracle. We definitely like that one. So thoughts there on ORCL?
Yeah, so definitely after observing that earnings reaction last night, I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be on watch for me today. Coming in, just defining some of these levels. These are all-time highs here. 153.70 is that earnings reaction high from overnight. So going to be watching that. We're trading at 152 and some change right now. Prior all-time highs sitting at 147.08. So just shy of that 147, 146 area right here. So let's see what Oracle does. Again, above that 150 mark as well. So definitely going to be on watch. Let's see if we get that continuation. Again, strong earnings report like you said. And yeah, maybe some changing fundamentals as well. We'll see.
Oracle actually at the top of the upgrades list here today with that JMP Securities upgrade mentioned on the desk there. DraftKings getting upgraded by XA and BNB Paribas up more than 1% right now. Meta getting an upgrade from DA Davidson and Bernstein upgrading GE Aerospace. On the downgrade side, we're kicking off here with a downgrade but a price target increase for Costco by Redburn Atlantic. This name is set to report before the end of September, so COST on watch going forward here. Ford getting a downgrade from Deutsche Bank, but we also have Ford and GM getting a negative analyst note there from Wells Fargo. So a lot of these Detroit automakers absolutely on watch today. Relay here getting a downgrade from Oppenheimer and QuantumScape QS trading higher today despite this downgrade from Deutsche Bank, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing
Which
that
one of those are you looking at?
floated my boat there was DraftKings. So, and the reason why is that, so it's an up day in the market. We're catalyst-based traders, I am.
Yes.
And I like to trade with momentum, and I like to trade with the market. So for me, we're going to go long. And we've been talking about DraftKings and that I thought this was going to be a good buy somewhere in this area. Unfortunately, it's been really choppy around here. You know, if you bought thinking that maybe 30, 32, 33 was the bottom, and then you had a whoopsie moment where we sort of bounced into $30, left it a little bit, but then reclaimed and held. So I really like this stock, but the thing is that $30 is now 20% lower, right? Because you're up $6 off that level. So yeah, DraftKings I think is gone for the moment. I really like this break, I think, of 39. So you got to get above here into this area. I was actually looking at a 38 break today. That could be possible, but I'm almost wondering, just on an upgrade, 1.6%, you had another 1.5% or so, it just gets you into this 38, 39 area, which I think would be a fade back in off of that area. So I think I like DraftKings. I really like the fact that it got upgraded. I think with football here, that does, hey, what's going on, man? I like your haircut. With football coming back and whatnot, and pool, cue balls coming back into fashion as well right there. Thank you for the banana, Randy, as well. You do look really sharp with the new haircut. So it's not. I guess it's not a new haircut. It's freshened up. Okay, watch out. We don't have makeup on yet. The glare is really starting to affect the audience. I'm seeing it there in the chat. No one said anything. How are you doing?
Coffee.
I would love a coffee. I would absolutely love a coffee. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
We love having fun with that guy. But yeah, so DraftKings, I think 38, 39. I'd rather look at it tomorrow when we're above those levels or trading around there. I think if we get to that today, it could be a fade. But DraftKings, for me, especially for swing trading, I think that would be the name there that gets me going the most.
Yeah, something that kind of stood out to me right away, downgrade. Again, post-earnings, Ford got a little bit of a reaction there prior or post-earnings right there that we had on July 24th. Been selling off. A little bit of an attempt at the bid, reclaiming that $10 area. But yeah, a little bit of a downtrend here over the past couple of days. Again, you take this bottom. Again, I'm going to say that that's August 5th. Right here, you take that bottom there, and we've kind of broken trend now. A little bit of a double whammy with that downgrade. Let's see if Ford can give us some more lows there. But yeah, that $10 level is interesting on Ford as well. Let's see if that downgrade can give us a continuation of this trend that we've been having over the past couple of weeks on Ford. Again, already beat down off of earnings here. A little bit of a sideways action since then.
SMX, I saw a few people mentioning this. SMX up 102%. There's absolutely nothing on this that I can find anyways, but 588,000 share float. So we're back in the world where low floaters are getting huge moves again.
I love these small cap gappers, Brendo. They're right down my alley, but this one's breaking down a little bit here on the way down to 420, double bottom at 420, trying to come back into the volume weighted average price. We'll keep you guys updated. If I get a headline here, I'll let you know, but this one really popped up aggressively right at 7 a.m. You can see that there, Fabian, it really went aggressive from that closing print yesterday at 2 1/5, and we popped up almost into that 590 area. So good look here.
Yeah, 1.6 million on the market cap of this. Wow. It's blockchain related too, so that's great. 725,000 total outstanding shares, of which 588,000 are free. So tread lightly, to say the least, on SMX if you're going to look at that today. All right, let's have a look at the overall market here to get going this morning.
54.79, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. We're really inching into that 5,500 level. The overnight high is 54.97. So look, if we reclaim 5,500, we'll look to use it as support. If not, we're looking at that 54.50, yesterday's support level.
If you haven't done so yet, go down to the description of this video. There's a link there for the watch list. All you have to do is enter your email address, and then you get all your homework done for you every single day for free. We send it right to your inbox, everything you need to know in one neat package for you every single day, as I mentioned, right to you. Let's talk about Oracle. We touched on it briefly there. A number of analysts with opinions, mostly on the positive side. It was a beat across the board. There was one that really stands out, actual upgrade, JMP Securities upgrading the stock, going to 175 on the price target. But nice look, trying to get back to highs here for Oracle.
Yeah, a big breakthrough 150 there, Brendo, and it actually came back in to test the level here in the pre-market, so good look. As I mentioned, it was a beat on the top and bottom line, and what really stood out to me was the cloud infrastructure revenue growth. It was an eye-watering 45% year-over-year growth as they look to build out these data centers, AI data centers specifically. They also have a partnership with AWS, which is enabling them to offer database services and dedicated hardware, so we'll keep an eye on this one.
Oracle, okay. I know we just sort of talked about it, but we'll do it one more time there. 150. I really like a 150 break on Oracle. It already happened, as Sharif mentioned it. I think it's a strong stock. Back down into the 200 period moving average would be great at 148. The sticky note's coming out in just a couple of seconds, and it has Oracle on it. I like those levels. I like the pre-market break as well. Performing really well. It's up. I think, as I said, expected move. Let me just double check the expected move for everybody. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it if I don't know. Ooh, Samsara. Okay, September the 9th. Right here. So Oracle expected move. Yeah, there it was. So sorry, 7.7. I said 6.7 earlier. 7.7 expected move. Right now you're up 9% right there. So again, I think it continues, right? We heard that from Daniel Shea. I've been looking at that ever since I heard her mention that. I think it's been pretty true. You want to trade names that move outside, not inside. So right now, Oracle up 9%. I always talk about playing VWAP back in. So That's 150, 130. It's gonna be early to judge that. It has a good amount of shares, 500,000 right now. But again, breaking higher. I like the deal with Amazon. I like the deal with Google. Those names are actually gonna be on here as well. Lots of opportunities moving forward with Oracle today. I think we both like the stock. I have a feeling we'll be trading this one. I'll buy the dips into 150, but I'm not standing there with pending bids. All right, so what that means is, Obi and everybody.
What does that mean?
Is I'm gonna let it settle down.
Yes.
If it comes into 150 and it hangs around there for a couple minutes and I'm able to see it, then we'll trade that. But until then, I'm going to hold off and wait to see what we can do with Oracle. I don't mind buying a 148. Maybe I'll stand around for, but I'm not going to stand around and take that 150 in case there is a little bit more of a bottom play right there. So 148 I'm fine with. 150 I'd rather see the action. Such a key level, right? It's an option to level there, and that probably gives people that expected move. 7%. So let's see what happens down there. Obi, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that 150. You got to keep an eye on that 150. I like that 148. We talked about that prior all-time high being in and around that 147 as well. But yeah, if we do get a little bit of a dip off of the open and the bid is real, again, I'm going to ask that same question. If the bid is real, where will it catch if we do take a little bit of a pullback? I will be watching for that. The highs at 153, Sean. And look at this. Some of these anchors are from prior earnings here. So I'm going to put on the anchored to last night's earning, and we'll see. So let's see where that anchored kind of falls in. And that's coming in, Sean, at that 149 right now. So let's see. If we dip into that 148, 149, 150 area, and we start to catch a little bit of a bid, maybe there could be some potential decision-making to be had there on Oracle. Earnings day one today, definitely on watch, one of the top names.
We're just discussing some of these Chinese tariffs on EVs. Here's Tesla, meanwhile. Just took out yesterday's high, trying to hold above it right now around that 220 area. Nice gap up yesterday, trying to extend those gains this morning. There's not a heck of a lot as far as news catalysts today. I mean, this was kind of interesting outside of these tariffs this morning, but this was kind of interesting. Elon considering to make the steering yoke stationary while Cybertrucks park themselves. I just was saying to you, I mean, if that's the level of problems he's dealing with these days, things are okay.
I gotta love Elon. I don't know, I'm just wondering, what are people doing? Are they interfering with the steering wheel while it's parking itself, Brendo? Like, why would he want to do this? So interesting look in any event. Let's talk about what's moving Tesla today. Brendo mentioned the tariffs. So Tesla's getting the best deal here from all the other China-made cars. Their tariff is gonna be 7.8%. plus the customary 10% that's included on all the cars. Second is going to be BYD with 17%. Geely got theirs knocked down to 18.8%, but every other Chinese-made car that did not comply with the investigation is going to have to pay 35.3% on top of that 10%. And I should mention, by the way, that for them to overrule, and by them meaning the EU, to overrule these tariffs, Brendo, 15 of the EU members representing 65% of the membership there have to vote against it, which has never happened. So it looks like it's going through.
Q NIO as well, NIO, anyone paying attention to that, down about 2.5% right now pre-market.
Boy, that Tesla, man.
Yeah, you have some quick ideas on Tesla? Because
I mean,
I'll let you go first, of course.
What I want to know is that 235 from a couple days ago. Right? A little bit of a double top there happening. I do have an alert at that 235 and aggressive selling coming in on Friday. Again, along with a lot of strong market tailwind as well. We reclaimed some of that action yesterday, and we are attempting to push a little bit higher going into that 220 today. But yeah, no, that 235 double top, I think a little bit distinct as, again, it has acted as a bit of a resistance area in the past. You can see early August as well, some strong selling coming in off of that area. We finally get back there at the beginning of September, and that selling comes right back in, coming into the end of last week. So it could, I think that's interesting to me. We are trading much below that level right now, 220. So a little bit of in between that range we've seen from the highs and the lows here. But it should be interesting with the moves that this has been having. I'm curious to know whether that 235 could potentially come into play again. 15 points away from where we are right now, Sean. But let's see if that selling pressure decides to step down as well. That's what I got.
Yeah, so I'm, yesterday Tesla was huge, and we had looked at 218 as a long, but we got a gift early, and it dropped right into the 200 period moving average, and this was just a huge trade for us. yesterday. It created some huge opportunities, Fabian, off of that 200 period right there. Boom to the upside, came back in, boom again. It was a great trade until it broke, and we lost a little bit at the end there. Once it broke, but pretty choppy into the afternoon. I mean, all eyes for me were on Apple. We sort of talked about that. This bottom of 215, 216 is what we have written down here for support levels for Tesla. I don't think we're going to come into that, but you never know. Like yesterday, I wasn't certain about this move. We opened yesterday at 217-ish. We fell into 214. That's $3. So if we give us $3 back into here, then we're groovy back into 216 again. And I like that trade, 216, 217 break. But the trade that I like also is a higher take. I mean, why can't we take out this 222 today? Let's go right now. Everybody in Tesla land? 1.68%, that's dirt on your shoulder again. Let's see if we can take out that level right here. It goes back to the fourth. It's where we got to before we dropped back in $4. I like the action. Get this garbage out of here, like we say, above the 200, above the 50. Let's see if Tesla can take 222 today. I like that trade for a long. It's Tesla. It will be in. I'll be trading it today. That is for sure. Obi,
what's going on?
I'm thinking you might want to move that coffee a little bit, and just in case, we get a little excited. Yeah, there it is. Traders stay late. Today I'll be with Brian Shannon, and we'll be talking about anchored VWAP. We'll be talking about all of that stuff. So, no, I'm just joking. You can keep your coffee there if you want, Obi, if it's more.
No, we might get a little too excited. The way this Oracle and that Palantir from yesterday are moving, I don't know. Things could get a little spicy. But
good trade on Palantir.
We shall see. I will clear the premise.
Clear the area and clear it for Brendan and Sharif.
Brought to you by Moomoo. They're shaking up the investing game with its cash sweep program, offering an incredible 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, far surpassing typical stock returns. This all-in-one app, backed by the NASDAQ and the SEC, ensures your funds are safe with FDIC insurance up to $500,000. Your cash earns interest 24/7. You can access it anytime to reinvest in the market when it turns. Plus, sign up now, snag 15 free stocks as a bonus and up to $2,300 in cash if you're in Canada. Don't let your money sit idle. Make it work for you. Let's go on to iPhone 16 and the event yesterday. As we were saying, if you were joining us for the first 30 minutes of the show, wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I don't think people were caught off guard by this event yesterday. Coolest moment, I think, for me was the, two things, actually. The black watch Ultra. Yeah. Looks great. Oh, yeah. They completely redesigned the 10, the Watch 10 model. Bigger screen, better screen, better visibility on that screen. The AirPods Pro with the hearing aid technology, I think, is really cool.
Very cool.
I really think, and Google did this as well, I really think it's a good idea that these phone companies or phone designers anyways are going back to a Pro version that isn't enormous. Yep. Like you can pick between a 6 and change inch phone screen versus the enormous one. So the Pro model on the Pixel did that for the first time this year as well.
Yeah, it's I don't personally like holding these clunky phones, so a smaller option. Also good here. The feature that stood out to me was when you can point the camera at anything, Brendo, and it just tells you exactly what it is. Nothing we haven't seen in an app that you can already download, but nice that it's integrated into the system. What I want to cover is the Ireland issue here with the EU. So this has been a 10-year court battle, Brendo, essentially where they're owed $14.4 billion. And here's the look. So Ireland gave them the tax break, but the EU, the European Commission, in fact, came to Ireland and said, no, you need to go collect that $14.4 billion. It was actually Ireland and Apple against the European Commission at the ECJ, the European Court of Justice, and they ultimately ruled after 10 years that money is due. So apparently, they're going to escrow that money. We're going to have to see how that works out, but it's not a big deal because they make about $100 billion in free cash flow per quarter. So
that's the key. Stuck in this range, however, this morning here for Apple. Really hasn't done much yet today. Held that 218 though, guys, for Apple today.
Yeah, so for Apple, I don't even have it on the sticky note today. We sort of talked about why we didn't have it there. I'm not, yesterday was big trade. It was a monster trade, and it was $3. And it was right there, right at the end of the day, and it was off this break. We waited for the event to end. Volume kind of was dying down there. We got it slowly generating a nice trade opportunity, broke through the 50 period, then took this out. So there's the event starting sort of at 1 o'clock up in here. Came in at around 221, drops into 217. So that's kind of expected. And then once it was just like, okay, nothing revolutionary. Pricing came out as expected. No new sort of iteration of the flip phone or anything like that for Apple. So I think everything was just as expected, and then it returned to sort of prominence. And as Obi had mentioned earlier, basically closing at highs and going green. So that was a great trade opportunity to have that. And right now it's like, if you could draw a middle line right now, I think that's pretty much where we are right now at 219. We're nowhere near the top or the bottom. So for me, for Apple, Obi is hold on a second, is a puff pass.
Yeah,
I pass it over to you.
All right.
Obi.
Yeah, no, range bound, right? Well within, still trading inside this range we've been doing since sometime last week. Again, strong selling coming in on Tuesday, September the 3rd. Bit of a break in that trend that we've had since earnings, right? Post earnings, again, we had that Monday, August 5th. We've only been bidding up since then. A bit of break in trend happening this past Tuesday there, and then coming into this week as well. A little bit of an inside the range. It's trading inside the range. Even with the Apple event yesterday, we talk about how we closed with some strength. Now, this is a 15-minute chart. Going into the end of the day, that bid comes right back in at that 217 area. Again, you can see that 217, 218, a little bit of a bid, some strength up in the 220s, 225s, comes right back in. And end of day, that bid kind of steps up at that 217. So yeah, I think the look on Apple for me would be, can it get below that 217 prior day's lows, or do we just chop and do some more of the same here in between this range, which seems to be somewhere in the low 20s to mid-teens here on Apple. But yeah, not necessarily a top priority on my list today. But day 2 catalyst, technically, let's see what we do with yesterday's highs and lows.
For fun, last night I was asking a few people that I know have iPhones currently whether or not this was going to get them to pull the trigger, and I'm 0 for about 5 right now. I think you said you might.
I am, because this is the 13, Brendo. But I want to tell you something, that people don't upgrade until they see others using it, and they're like, oh, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
There's one I have that's every year.
Oh, yeah?
Guaranteed every year, but haven't been able to ask him yet. Anyway, let's talk about Alibaba. Back to the upside this morning. This was actually announced right here yesterday, so we had that big spike in the pre-market yesterday, but today is the first trade day. So announcement yesterday, trade day coming overnight over in Hong Kong on both the Shanghai and Shenzhen exchange for Alibaba.
Yeah, good look here for Baba. I won't go over it again, but basically it's going to make it easier for mainland residents to be able to invest in Baba. Goldman Sachs chiming in. They're talking about $2 to $3 billion of net inflows into Alibaba by the end of the year. $11 billion total. Sean had a different number for Morgan Stanley, but nice up 2 2/3 here.
Yeah, it's holding nicely, guys, but not a heck of a lot of volume so far for Baba.
No, I was just thinking, I just read our note. I thought it said 11 to 37 billion or something like that. Morgan number. Okay. Anyways, at the end of the day, yeah, just to that point, 400,000. I mean, the volume's not horrible, but it's already up 3%. And again, I'm not super excited about this. I'd rather it be above this 86 level. I don't think there's enough juice in this story to get this above 86. So for me, I think it's a fade there for now, but I don't want to go short anything because we've talked about the strength in this market. I think we're back. I think we had a horrible week and a half there to start September. And I just think that there's a little bit of a buy action time here now. I think a lot of people wanted to sell the Apple event. That didn't happen. So now the market could start going back up to the upside, especially where NVIDIA is right now. We'll talk about that. Or we won't talk about that. We'll talk about that later as we go. But I think this 86 is something to look at. 88 is awesome. If you could break above 88 on Alibaba, I mean, you guys want to buy some call options. I think 88, we get to that. I mean, that's not bad. That's $5. I think you can get a decent spot there. If the market wants to go, I think Alibaba comes to $88. If not tomorrow, maybe Thursday, Friday. I like Alibaba this week. That's a good story. Let's just see if it continues to go. I mean, how weak is the Chinese consumer if Huawei is apparently getting all these orders? So you know, let's just not. Let's play it for what we know. You know, the government will come up with certain statistics, and so will companies. If they're buying stuff, I like Alibaba, man. It's the Amazon of China.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to consider there. One of the leading companies in that sector when it comes to China there. But yeah, a little bit of a gap up today. We've been trending down over the past week or so. Since the beginning of September, we're trading above a lot of that September open as well. So the open of the month, we are trading above as of right now with this little bit of a gap up. So let's see if we get that continuation of this gap on, again, a little bit of a catalyst as well happening there. 85s I do like. Let's see if we can get there. 85s or 80s. We talked about 82 potentially as well. Some of this prior days close 82 halves, it would seem. But yeah, breaking that downtrend on this gap up. Let's see if we get that continuation coming in off of the open today on Alibaba.
All right, we're flying through here this morning. Let's give you a few bonus rounds to deal with as well. Boot Barn. I know, right? Boot is the symbol, B-O-O-T. Nice gap higher here. We're trading up here this morning, 153.90. Off better than expected report. RBRK, Microsoft-backed rubric, on the other hand, downside off of a miss. This is a cybersecurity name, came to market back in April for RBRK, but trying to hold 30 here, not very successfully.
Just about to say the same thing. Yeah, good look there. Look, they reported second quarter revenue about $205 million. That's up from $151 million, but it missed the street's expectations. Adjusted loss still as they develop a 40 cents per share compared to $1.33 per share last year. They did raise their full year guidance. So you wonder why we're selling off here. They raised their full year guidance to about 830 to 838. The street was looking for high 700s. So we'll see how they do. 16 analysts, Brendo, cover it, and most of them have it as a buy with a medium price target of $44.50.
How much of influence does Microsoft have, I wonder, in that? But yeah, back right at the lows, essentially, on the higher time frame for RBRK this morning. Palantir, on the other hand, huge trade yesterday, ends the day at day highs. We just took that out, $34.87, $35 even coming into play. Bank of America this morning going to 50 on the price target.
I mean,
oh boy.
I mean, Obi, we've been talking about Palantir for a minute here, and I think it just continues to climb higher. I mean, yesterday, I didn't want to say it because I know Neil didn't really have it the same way, but you and I completely smashed Palantir yesterday. So congratulations to that one, Obi. And you know, it was a great trade opportunity yesterday for sure. We had that inclusion into the S&P 500 that happened Friday after the close. So then it kind of gapped higher on that, obviously. And then when it opened up, it was just like, let's get going here. We had indicated yesterday on the sticky note that this was going to be the #1 trade. It was probably your best trade of the month, I would think, right? I would think so. And same as mine. So that's why we're talking about it. But there it is, man. A nice break of that 32, 33. It just kept on going at the end of the day. That this was past 52-week high. We took that out. We came into VWAP. We supported it, sort of. I don't know where VWAP was at this time, but it looks like we probably did. Then we probably supported it there again. And then we just basically ended at the highs, which is awesome. I mean, normally you don't get that on a stock that's up 14, 15%. Sometimes you'll fade back into the end of the day, but it looks like the buyers didn't stop, man. They really supported the 200 period VWAP. The 50 was pretty choppy on the 1 minute chart, so we maybe won't use that so much today. But hey, 34.40, 34.50, right into there. I feel like those are good buy spots. The sticky note is out, so thank you for everybody for yelling at me in the chat there. But $34, I think that's a decent dip buy opportunity is what I wrote down. But I'm also Smash City again at 35. Why not? Good upgrade. I think there's a chance for this name to go again. If you smash 35, you could use VWAP. Remember, we did hold it. The better trade yesterday, though, the break was great. I'm pretty sure you had something like that. But we were able to play this dip buy early as well.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see if that could happen. So that's why I write down 34, 34.50, just in case we do get a dip buy opportunity. Yesterday, Obi, there was a monster imbalance of 1.5 million shares affecting it. Today, there's absolutely nothing on imbalance whatsoever. I mean, we talked about Ford a little bit. There's Oracle with only 80,000. XOM, we talked to Randy about this, oil space getting hot again maybe after a couple bad days. But for right now, man, yeah, Palantir to me is a trade. The order's already in. So if it breaks above 35, we're going long on this name, as well as Amazon. Those are the two trades that I like. So far, so good, man. Palantir, a huge move. I really like the stock.
No, I really liked that move yesterday. And yeah, that dip off the open, that was pretty crazy. Do you remember what your first entry was?
3250.
3250. Wow. I had 3271s. I remember I hesitated just a little bit when it reclaimed that 50. I was like, oh, I got to get in. I'm like, I thought I was going to get 60s. I crossed in. I was like 71s. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll take it. I'll risk 20 pennies. Just
so it
below
came
the half.
down. So the thing is it came down into those levels. And I remember saying to Neil, I'm going to try some right now.
Yeah.
And I think it was 58s.
Okay.
So if I'm going to be honest, I think it was in and around the high 50s. We were able to do that. Then we punched more in and around that level as well. 70s. And then we talked about how many shares we had as we smashed it again through 33.10. So
when it comes to like an opening drive, I think that was definitely that was a good one. If not A plus, at least an A minus opening drive trade on Palantir. It did all the right things.
It's a real trade. We talk about real trading all the time. That was an awesome opportunity with a catalyst. And something we've seen before. We've seen many names being added before. We've seen that in action, and that's exactly what happened. But what are you looking for today?
I'm looking for that continuation, Sean. Again, throwing up an anchored to yesterday's run right here. Look at that. Sean said he likes that 34. That anchored, Sean, is coming in right shy of that 34. 33.87 is the anchored from yesterday's reaction, or Friday's reaction on that S&P ad news there. Yesterday, only holding that VWAP on every dip, so I do like that. 34s and some change holding as pre-market lows, closing very, very strong on the day. Again, looking at some of that relative volume that we were doing yesterday, over 5 times, and almost pretty much sustaining that relative volume going all the way into the close. Now, for sure, today we're not doing as much, but I'm looking for that continuation. Let's see if we can get through that 35 mark as well. Looking left on this chart, we want to look back at it and see. These are not, I don't think these are technically all-time highs. This trader has traded higher before, right here. 45 is the all-time high. So we are coming into some of these previous levels. Now, this is a 3-hour chart. The next level I'm asking myself, what is the next level right here? 36, potentially a little bit of a bounce happening there. And then some of these highs at 39s. Let's see if we can get that continuation through 35 into 36. Yesterday was quite the move. I'm looking for that continuation today, guys. So let us know if you guys will be trading that Palantir anytime today.
Idiot's brains. There's our friends over at Firefly Neurosciences with an announcement this morning, teaming up with Zito to integrate and distribute their BNA technology with EEG device platform from ZETO. So AIFF on the NASDAQ. Not much volume here this morning, but shout out to our friends at Firefly.
Yeah, they're doing well here, Brendo. So essentially AIFF, so Firefly is obviously developing neurological and mental disorder solutions for those who are afflicted with such, and they're teaming up with Zito, which is an innovator in the EEG brain monitoring technology. So they're going to act as a non-exclusive distributor for Zito's FDA clearance of their EEG headset devices. So we'll keep an eye there. Well, it looks like they're flat right now, but we'll keep an eye on them.
Yeah, more to come from Firefly in the next few weeks here. We're going to have them back on the show, get an update on the company since it was a reverse merger. They got public.
I'm going to be involved in
NASDAQ a couple of weeks ago, so we'll touch base with them coming up here in the next few weeks. But yeah, nice positive announcement for them today. Meanwhile, market taking out the highs here, 0.4 for the NASDAQ, about the same for the S&P 500. So I guess all is well in Stockland.
Yeah, 18.7. Looks like we're on our way to 18.8 over here. The NQ is already up 0.4. Keep your eye on the Russell trade as well. We saw that one underperform the indexes yesterday, being the lowest of the 4. So we'll keep tabs on that one for now.
Yeah, a lot to look at this morning, guys. Final thoughts here. We have 5 minutes or so to go.
Long. Final thoughts, Obi?
No, I like that. I like that. Yeah,
I know.
Find places to get along. Yeah.
Yeah, find places to get long. I mean, we're not going to be punching long everything off the open, but a name that I really like long that we haven't really talked about was Amazon as well. AMZN right here, up 1.6% and still going. I like to talk on the contract with Oracle there coming through. Yeah. I tweeted it out right here, and thank you again for all the support with the note. But there it is right there. I like Oracle. I like Amazon. 178.50. I mean, I just wrote down here something pretty simple here. As you can see, 178.50 break, Goldman Sachs upgrade, news of more deals with Oracle, strong name. Is that Kathy Wood's? Yeah, Kathy D. Wood, okay. Is also buying it.
Yep. It's there. It's almost there right now. It's trading 178.
Oh, wow. She must be watching. But no, so anyways, long story short, I like 178.50 to try to break here on Amazon. So Brendan just said final thoughts. I'm just thinking I don't have any short ideas. So that's why I'm saying long right now. NVIDIA at 110 should be interesting. We didn't really get a touch on that yet. We already talked about Tesla. I sort of like some of those dip opportunities and a 222 long break there. I really like this 178.50. It's been here for a couple weeks. Hasn't really broken above it except for one moment there. Now we get Catalyst, I feel like. Nice move, nice restructure there. Nice structure, sorry, off of the 50 period and the 200 trying to hold. So I really like Amazon. This will probably be the first trade that I get in. To be honest with you, will be this 178.50 break. It looks like it's going to happen early. Might be a mistake, and we may regret doing that, but hey, man, I mean, as a trader, you regret lots of decisions. It's just about how you manage with them. Yeah. Palantir with a little bit of a buy. Oracle with a little bit of a buy. Mara, we did not talk about that. That's a buy there today. Polestar with a sell, 155. That's not going to do anything. That's only at 400,000 shares. Other than that, there's my Amazon. Oh no, it's a sell. So we're looking for a long. We'll see if we can take advantage of some weakness early and get into some Amazon. But right now, not much on the imbalance locator as we get ready to rock and roll. I mean, I think it's going to be a great day again here, but one where patience may be key because I was actually going to look at the TQQs as well. And this level that we had written down yesterday was $60. It's come back into play again. So I think that this level, we wrote it down yesterday when we were down here at 58s. It didn't really get going until just now. 60 is a huge level. This level here of 60.50 could be the next little level upside there on the TQs. I actually really like this one. 60.65 or so as a break on the NASDAQ gets us really going. So yeah, man, lots of opportunities here today. We'll get Obi's ideas in just a second when we get back from Sharif.
Guys, we're continuing our talk about trend this week. We're going to talk about these accelerating or decelerating trend lines with the fan principle. If you're into that kind of thing, catch that with Adair and I on How to Trade at 11.
All right. Yeah, no, I like that. Accelerating and decelerating trends. I vibe with that, definitely. We've been seeing a lot of that kind of happening. And yeah, Sean, I'm looking at kind of the spider trading just shy of this 550 mark. That strong selling coming in off of that 550 failure to follow through on Friday, selling off for majority of the day. We're coming into some of those levels. So the question I'm asking is, what do we do? What does the spider do in and around here at that 550 if we can get up there? We did kind of gap up above this end of day consolidation from Friday on Monday, which was yesterday, and we traded up into the close. And now in the pre-market, we're trading a little bit higher than prior day's highs. So 548.30s as of right now. Friday's high coming in at 551.58, but that 550 mark a little bit more significant. Let's see what we do. A little bit of an over/under potentially for me in terms of a compass. I always say SPY is my compass for the most part, just to give me a little bit of direction on some of these larger cap and high beta names. So yeah, we'll see what the spider does in and around that 550. I do like the look on TQs. You said you were looking at that 60 mark. Again, that selling on Friday on the TQs coming in off of that 62 price. So we'll be watching some of those levels if and when the TQs or the spider get into those prices. What does price action do? What does the tape look like? What does the market look like? What are some of the futures looking like? So that's definitely going to be some of the questions that I will be asking when we get there. But for me, off of the open, I think Oracle, a little bit of Palantir, and yeah, maybe some Amazon as well. Got to keep an eye. I do. Once you pointed that out, I was like, oh boy, yeah, I do like that Amazon look. It's coming into some of these levels. I do have Some higher time frame resistances / support levels marked out around this area. So I do like that as a look. It is coming in quite strong off of yesterday's action.
Yeah,
so
I saw that, yeah.
only about 30 seconds left here, Sean.
The Amazon's coming in nicely here off the open as well. We might not get that 178.50, and I mean, dropping down into 176 could be something. Let's keep Amazon on watch as well. So we'll get ready to go. Yesterday, my clock was off here, and I didn't reset it, so I don't even know what time it is, but here it goes, 50. I'm just going to hit it with my Apple Watch, and there it is. Right now, with 10 seconds left, as we will go 9, 8, 7, 6, and we're getting ready to go. Hi, Dare, how are you feeling? Right now, 2, and I believe 1-ish. Okay, there we go. We are now locked and loaded. I have the, like a website here that I follow world time on, and yeah, that's what I will use, but yesterday was off apparently. Amazon with a little bit of a dip down in here. Palantir's right at 35. That could break and get us long immediately. Nice little drip down for Amazon. I may take this long here at 177.
Oh boy, look at that size at 35.
Not exactly. Yeah, we're getting ready to punch that long, baby. There it goes. Palantir, we are now long at 35.04 and not working out. We'll wait. Did it go to 20 there on that break? I don't know. But we are long right now, 35 and change. And we did get long Amazon. And guess what? Amazon right now, almost $1 in the money.
Yes, sir.
Is $1 in the money.
Let's go.
Not bad.
170. So you're long 177.
177.40.
Let's go. That's solid. Here we go on. I guess Oracle. Oracle's trading at 154s. Nothing too crazy right off of the open in terms of that strength. Kind of trading just above some of those earnings reaction highs. Now again, you have to remember that Oracle. These are all-time highs on Oracle. And again, I'm going to be a little bit patient. That 35 did have some significant size here on Palantir. We printed all of that size, and then now we're trading just shy of that 35. So maybe maybe poised for a little bit of a pullback. Yeah. We did trend up all day yesterday. Again, I think if we are to catch a little bit of a bid, I'm asking myself, where do we catch it? 155 is coming in here on Oracle. So Oracle starting to get a little bit of a run, opening range break to the highs. The spread is a little bit nasty here, 154.30. So trade by 154.60s. What do you got going on?
Oh
Amazon.
man, we are absolutely monstrous right now on Amazon, dude.
Go.
It broke that 178.50. We were long at 177.30s, but there it goes. It's a nice move to the upside. Palantir can basically just chill out for a second now and take a back seat because bang, that's exactly what we're talking about. This is what the sticky note's all about. One more time, it gives the goods right there. We did get some out on Palantir, but there goes Palantir. We just got out some 90s right there on Palantir, by the way, and then it dropped back in. So that one is a fail there on Palantir. But oh man, what a mover on Amazon. It's already a multiple right now and going a little bit higher. AMZN continues to climb, man. That's hilarious that we missed a lower on 117, 177, but that's a good trade there. Palantir coming right back into view up. I told you we'd be involved there, Obi, but we were involved a little bit too high on that one. Let's just try it right now, see if we can hold that bottom. We'll get back into Palantir here at 61s. But oh boy, it is a monster on Amazon, Obi. There it goes, man.
Nice trade.
Huge. There we go. I appreciate the compliment there, Obi. Thank you.
Yeah, again, I'm not watching Amazon right now, but congrats to Sean again for that 177 to 179 is trading much higher there on Amazon.
Wow.
I am watching this Palantir. This Palantir is pulling into view up, pulling into some of these, some of that anchored from yesterday, 34 halves. Incoming right now, so let's see a little bit of a pullback right coming in. So I'm looking for that bid to show up once again on Palantir. That same bid from yesterday. Oh boy, Sharif, those eggs smell amazing.
I told you that's the problem with this guy.
I'm telling you, like it hasn't even been 5 minutes off of the open, and I'm thinking about eating, and I'm like, I wasn't even hungry like 3 minutes ago, and then Sharif comes in with the eggs, and I'm like, oh boy, all right. Is it lunchtime?
Is it an oh boy moment?
It's time to eat though. This 34 half holding as of right now.
I mean, let's go. I mean, this has just been, what a day, man. What a day again. I always say, and I'm actually, you know, this Amazon. Okay, let's let Palantir cook a little bit here or else we're going to get cooked again. on this name. I'm going to give it to 34.40s. If it does break back down below, one last shot here on PLTR. Let's puff and pass on that one. As we've given back some of what we made yesterday. I mean, let's be honest with what we did there, right? I mean, it did not work out for us, their PLTR. I'm going to take some more out on Amazon. I mean, I really love the story here. But honestly, for us to get about $2 straight to the upside right there on this play, and I just told Sharif, like, man, did we nail this trade? And I mean, the thing is like, that's exactly what we're doing. It's a sticky note nation, and it's just finding those levels. And I mean, even a name that was not on the watch list, was not really traded by us yesterday, and then again today, you gotta do the work, you gotta dig in, you gotta try to find the names that you like to trade, and that was one of them. I really like to trade Palantir, but I can celebrate Amazon, but I will have to flush myself down the toilet because we've been wrong here on PLTR. You know, we'll try to buy that dip, as we said there. It just has not worked out for us today. And I'm trying to hold on to as much of Amazon as we can. We still have about, it's tough because we had shares early. I'm going to say we have about 25% of this trade on as we get into the highs right now. So if this name can keep going, I'm going to take one more piece out. Wow. Okay, I'm going to take one more. Wow. I'm going to take one more. I can't even talk. I'm going to take one more piece out here as we continue to climb higher. It's now $3 in the money. Sorry, $2.50 in the money there on Amazon. And boy, oh boy, Obi, we're at half of our net yesterday, and it was a pretty good day there. Let's go over to Adair, and then we'll come over to you and see if we got some more ideas cooking.
Small cap on watch here. It's going to be BKYI. This is BioKey International. We have a float of about 1.8 million shares, $2 million market cap. They're currently at highs of days up about 120% with really strong volume off the open, announcing they received $500,000 in government orders from a leading government defense ministry. Did not specify which one, but it has to do with their biometric work. Worth noting too, with a market cap of $2 million, this $500,000 award, pretty significant here, guys. BKYI.
All right. All right. So there it goes, man. I mean, again, we can talk all we want about hot trades, but Palantir definitely not hot today. Actually, the complete opposite. So trying to find some levels there for Palantir. I think we might as well leave it alone. It was a good day up yesterday, up huge, obviously. And today we tried it twice, and we'll lose.
See where we find the bid.
So we won't lose nearly what we made yesterday on the stock, but we'll go for 2 early, and we did get excited about it. It was on the radar today. And that's about real trading and real talk. You know, like I said, I feel like, you know, you'll get that from us here, and that's what it's all about. So looking at this level, we're coming into one at $34 again.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we want to.
34.
Yeah,
that's where the anchored sitting as well.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Down there at 34, I just feel like I'm chasing a little bit at this point, trying to make the stock right again. And, you know, I know we have MAGA tonight, making America great again. We don't need to make Palantir great again. We just need to try it to see if it wants to go. Look at Amazon, by the way, just pulled all the way back in. So good thing we had got out. We just talked about getting some out. Getting some out there at 179. We got this, Phil, unbelievable, 179.67 as we pull off of $80 again. So Palantir, one last try here against 34, and we'll see if it works out. But right now, yeah, the market's pulling back pretty decently here. Let's not, I mean, we're not going to give it back, but Amazon also falling into the 50-period moving average here. I don't like that move.
About 600 lots there at 34.15s here on Palantir. And yeah, I like that 34 level. And we did talk about this area being somewhere in and around that anchor that we pointed out in the pre-market. Right now, I have it sitting here at 33.91, just shy of that 34 mark. We're holding these 34.20s with a little bit of size. You can see right here, 600 lots sitting at that 15, and that 15 gets taken right off the bat. Let's see what 34 has in store for us there. Is there any size? Let me pull up the book here so we can get a little bit of a look. See at that 34. I can't really see that low just yet, but that 34 incoming right now. 34.90s, we talk about that anchored. Where will the bid catch? Is the bid even there from yesterday? We saw that nice little buying all day yesterday. But something that is going, Sean, and I have definitely missed out on it, is Oracle. Oracle coming into the 156. Have the spread a little bit better as of right now, only about 15, 20 pennies at a time. So before it was about 30 to 50 pennies there on Oracle, but 166 is incoming here. A little bit of a pullback. 34.15s holding as well on Palantir. I will stay patient. I will stay seated on my hands there, Sean, to see if that trade that I'm looking for is either gonna show up, is it gonna fall into my lap. I have no idea, but I'm waiting for that next trade. Got to practice some patience sometimes, but yeah, that Amazon, oh boy, that trade was definitely a solid one right off of the open there. We are pulling back a little bit as of right now, 178. But yeah, the market doing a bit of a reversion of this pre-market action, 18,580s all the way to 18,760s. Look at these 15-minute bars, nice little trend, and we've broken that trend with this opening candle here as of right now with a very strong top wick wicking off of 1880s and some change. So let's see if we can get that reversion of this pre-market price action as of right now on the break of this trend that's been happening since 4 a.m. here over the past over 4 or 5 hours on the futures. So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So I know there's some people wanting BLMZ or whatever that stock is. We'll have to go over some of those stocks, when we can, because right now I'm in 2 positions, and it's going to be Palantir here at 13 and change. We just bought a little bit of a dip there against 34. I mean, again, me and you just sort of sat here, Obi, and talked about that 34 level, and I'm guessing that we should have maybe trusted it just a little bit more, but there's a little bit.
I still trust it. I'm waiting.
It's still there. I know. Yeah. It's still there. All right. So we're long right now on Palantir at that level. We did buy a little bit more on Amazon here. Just trying to see what's going on over there with AMZN, trying to find a bid. It came into the 50 period. I decided to wait for 77s in case that came through and watch out for the 200 period. So we're not super layered into this yet. We had 20% left. We just added a little bit more. Now we have about 25% of our initial position. All right, Palantir. Rocket boosters engage, maybe. If we can, we're long here at 11s. We just long at 13s. Nice. We'll see if we can take a dime there. We take a dime there at 23s. We get a little bit of a fill there. Now we're waiting at 26 and see if it can't get back. There we go. Give me that 26. Give me that fill. No? Okay, so we'll wait to see if that can come through. And again, pumping back up to the upside a little bit here is Amazon. So if we can get something near VWAP would be our flat. We're long at 178.45 right now. Come on, Palantir. Let's go. Make it count, man. Make it count. We'll take some more out there at 26. There we go. We'll take a little bit more. We took 2 fills at 26 as it seems like it wanted to stop there. I just put an offer again at 33s. We'll see if we can get that. And then I put one at 34.40 as well and see if we can get a nice little top side play on that as well. So far, so good. Come on, Amazon. I'm going to put a little bit at 50s there. It looks like it wants to fail. But look, if the market goes here, and I'm just sort of still need to focus on the market here. If it can hold, then I think we can get going. But right now we're under the 50 period. We have to be very, very cautious of some of our longs, Obi. Yeah. Not 100% convinced on what this market wants to do right this second.
Yeah, so I did get a little long there on Palantir. Not as good as of a price that you have, but again, holding that 34 as of right now is the risk. Again, if we trade below that 34, that's fine. I'm more than willing to get out and reassess. But something that is continuing its trend to the upside, Sean, is Oracle. Oracle trading at 157.80s. 158's coming in with 120 lots right there. 158's gone on Oracle. So Oracle, all-time highs. That opening drive has held the opening range highs. Opening range break coming in at that 155 mark, trading about over 4 points above. 159's coming in, Sean. That 160 is real close. Well, I don't have any fills on that one there, but
it's the talk. We talked about
exactly. We were like,
it held it.
I was looking for a little bit of a give, a dip down into some of these pre-market levels. That never really came. It just held the opening range lows very well and broke through those opening range highs right off the bat. 5 minute right there, confluencing with that 155 level.
Oh, damn.
159's coming in as of right now.
You're dropping the confluencing this early in the day already?
There's a lot of things confluencing.
There is a lot of things confluencing. Okay. I'm feeling that. Right now what's confluencing is long on Amazon. I mean, so far we'll do that, and it's a nice little battle back here for AMZN. Next spot out in the 80s, and here we come. Let's go into the 80s right now. Take it out right here, and we'll see if we can put on another 25 cents in our pocket. We are 15 and 16 cents in the money on Palantir, but Adara is eagerly waiting.
Beware of Boeing here, BA. As of this morning, we had Reuters reporting that there's going to be a 6-month production delay for one of the key production deadlines here for those 737s. Now, just minutes ago here, we do have the FAA, so the Federal Aviation Authority, saying that it will, quote, take years, not months, to fix Boeing's culture. So FAA not looking too positive here about Boeing's future and the culture changes as we have that report from earlier today, guys.
Me and Obi just said to thank you, Darren. Me and Obi just said to ourselves, I don't think the futures are going to hold this level. And I think we both meant that maybe we start to go to the downside right now. We got to watch out for this 18.7. I mean, that's what we sort of just mentioned there. And yeah, so we'll wait to see if we can hold. So I'm getting a little bit nervous. We did get some more out on Amazon right here. I know it's not like a super, sexy trade right now, just trying to get out for flat, but we already,
oh boy,
we nailed this stock already. So the profits are already been had here on Amazon. Doesn't mean that we, don't think there's more upside protection here or upside surprise, but we have to protect the downside is what I'm trying to get at. And I mean, right now we're under the 50-period moving average. It's 944. We've given it back, man. I told you we had half of our day. We did early on that Amazon trade, but then we did bleed out some profits on Palantir. So definitely bled some out. We were long at 13s. Remember, as our average price, as it came back in, our average price was 13. If you guys remember that. And then some of these outs, our worst out was 19s, and our best out was 28s there or so. So it was a good re-battle back for Palantir, but we are getting ready to dip through one more time here on Palantir. And if that happens, that will not be very nice. But what's happening right now is a good one. It's a chicken dinner winner. Thank you for helping me pay for some of the products that we get on Amazon a little bit right now. Amazon was a name, Obi, that I dip bought on that bad report. So this is one of the names there, and I've been buying up some NVIDIA as well. We haven't even looked at NVIDIA. All right, so a little bit more out on Palantir. We still have half of that dip buy position. I am waiting to get some more out at 33s, which would be up here. If that can hit, great, and the next stop VWAP after that. Amazon good out there at 70 as it's trying to just battle back around a little bit right now. I'm just talking because I see you just have the one position. Let's see if we can find some more. Oracle's touching that 160.
160, yeah. Wow. 160.11s are the highs on Oracle right now. Oh boy, that definitely was a banger trade, and yeah, no fills on that one. 160 halves now, Sean. So this thing is accelerating. That momentum is definitely picking up, and something to note is that there is still expanding volume on this ticker as it continues to tick higher. So I'm kind of waiting for a little bit of a distinct difference there, maybe taking the reversion, but earnings day one is the case here on Oracle and all-time highs. So do I really want to revert it right away? I want it to show me that the bid has really dissipated, that it's gone. Let's make some lower highs. Give us some places to risk off of there on Oracle, but oh boy, that 160, that definitely was a missed trade. What is the next trade though, is what I'm asking. No FOMO over here. Definitely going to continue to give us opportunities on Oracle today. 160 is a little bit of a struggle happening as of right now. We've only been printing green candles since the open here. I'm looking at the 3-minute chart. And let's see what this one prints here. This opening price of this current 3-minute candle is 159.98. We're trading just in and around that level here. Prior bars still haven't broken. Prior bar low all the way at 158 on Oracle. So that's about 2 points away. So that's a hefty little bit of a width when it comes to levels you're looking to risk off of. But yeah, let's see what this 160 does. Again. I'm going to mention this again. It is trading at all-time highs as of right now on some pretty decent news, pretty decent fundamentals as well. 159 coming back in. Let's see if that bid has dissipated, Sean.
All right, we'll go another trade right here. We're into NVIDIA. I'm not sure if it's going to work, man. I just want to take this as a try. So we'll do exactly that. Here comes NVIDIA trying to get back in. We are long right now. And what I mean by a try is that we are near some lows. And it's not like I'm in love with this trade, but we do have shares. So let's take a piece off right now. There it goes. Holy, Obi. All right, let's go, man. We're long at 107.20s. Let me put another offer. I was not expecting that kind of a move, just real quick like that on NVIDIA. So there it is right there, a quick move. Out at some 60s or 55s. We'll see if we can get another 55. Let's go meme crazy. It's not doing that now. What I mean by that is just takes it. There it goes. Now it's starting to go. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. All right, man. Nice little 40-cent winner there for NVIDIA. Palantir.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Amazon. All right. We are on one again here, Obi. Hopefully for right now, we have 3 trades on, all winners. Palantir 40 cents, NVIDIA 40 cents, Amazon 40 cents. It's a 40-cent spinorama right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, so wow, there goes Amazon now 60 cents. Amazon now 60 cents in the money, trying to go higher, breaking through 179, now 179.50. All aboard. It is the Amazon train, or it's the Amazon yacht. I mean, if you wanted to hit up your boy, Jeff Bezos. He'll send you around for a couple spins around that thing right now. But there goes Palantir as well. Shout out to Alex Karp, dancing in the streets these days as well, as his company gets the big ad to the S&P 500. And oh boy, it's a good one here. We battle back. We are now at our unrealized highest spot we've been at all day. So good little reload there, and a lot of it is thanks to NVIDIA, but NVIDIA's pulling back.
Yeah, nice. Congrats on that, Sean. Market did go a little bit red to green there. We were talking about that break of that trend and that 18.7 potentially coming in. That candle rips up and closes a little green there. Second 15-minute candle starting, already started. We got about 10 minutes left for that one to print. But yeah, the market is definitely catching a little bit of a bid here. Let's see what it does, though. It's still within the opening range of that first 15-minute candle. Range lows just above 18.720s, and then highs at 18.820. So about a 100-point range on the first 15-minute candle here on the Nasdaq. We're still trading in between that range, so I'm gonna stay a little bit patient. Something else to note is that the ES is pulling back off of 5,500, so nice little 5.5s right there. Let's see what that can potentially bring in for us. There it goes, Oracle with that initial prior bar low break happening as of right now, 158.50s pulling in as of right now. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a reversion down to VWAP. VWAP sitting at 156.95 there, Sean, so only about 2 points away. But I don't know if I want to take this trade. It's about a 1-to-1, risking up to that 160 and looking for that VWAP down at 157s. We're only about a 1.5 away from that 157 as of right now, as the market takes a little bit of a breather back down to the downside. I don't know if we're going to get stopped out of this Palantir, man. This 34 hold has been decent so far, but yeah, that market coming right back in. So
yeah,
let's see what we got.
Not good. I'm going to flip over short a little bit here on NVIDIA and start to get out of many things. I'm not super happy. I mean, I'm happy. It's been a positive day. The day has been great. But we will wind up going red on NVIDIA there on that drip. So I just flipped over to the short in the 70s. The reason why we did that, again, I don't know if the market's going to hold view up, but if it doesn't, I know NVIDIA is going to bleed down. So let's just try that. I'm going to try it to the 200 period. This is generally a trend move that I like to trade off of. We'll flip it up. We've done good flipping things up in the past. We still have long. I mean, Amazon, we just got some out there when it broke through VWAP. We've been getting this name out. This has been a good name for the long, and so has Palantir off that 34. So I don't want to like bury ourselves here with NVIDIA. We're down almost, we're basically flat on it. What we're down is this current position. So we're down 20 cents right now. I want to try it off 107. I'm going to take a little bit more right now. It's just this 200. Let's just see. It's been red today. It's under, it's under, it's under. Prove me wrong, NVIDIA, and we'll just get out of it. And we'll tap out. Like, we will literally just tap out and rethink this trade. But that's too bad. We were just long this name as it dripped back down through and took out the day's low. That's the day low right there, 106.80. I can't hold it through that, honestly. We've made mistakes like that before, and we're not going to do it again. Thankfully, though, Palantir keeps on singing, and so does Amazon. Good hold so far, Obi. I like that trade right now. Let's see if we can go over to Adara, and make sure you guys, before we do that, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. It's a little bell. You can hit that to get notified as soon as we go live or post something. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit all of that. But right now it's over to Adara.
It's brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Darn it. All right. Gosh darn it. All right, right there. So NVIDIA, let's not pull any hair out because we don't have that much left. So, I mean, if we start doing that, then we're going to be in a problem.
Boy.
Right there. Yeah, I don't have Wish I had the man bun, man. I love the man bun. Okay, coming back in here, 107.50 for NVIDIA is going to have to be the tap out spot right now. We're not short that bad. We're short at 107, but we were just long down here, and we could have had that trade back in, but it did hit the day's low, and now we are out of it. Hi, Ramin. How are you doing?
What's going on, Ramin?
I'm easily distracted. All right. So, all right, nice move up. Amazon right now, 75 cents in the money. There it goes. Let's go. That's a little bit of a diamond hand, man, for sure on that play. But we are going to get, out of this NVIDIA trade momentarily as it goes all the way back up into 107.50s. Again, that's too bad because I feel like we did have that, but the market bounces off VWAP. So lesson learned right there. Don't take something until we actually break. But right now, NVIDIA is just hovering around. We don't want to punch out immediately, but we're getting pretty close to doing that. Our best fills on the top side there, 107.60. So feels like that's coming in. I may just unbleed this a little bit, get something out in the 20s, and then if we can, hold for a nice little move southbound right now. It's a Dollar Club winner on Amazon. I wish we didn't drop that right there when we thought the market was in trouble, because it ain't. And then look at Palantir, looky on this one. I know Obi's getting reloaded over there, but we got Palantir reloaded down here at 34, and look at it go. It's a nice move there for Palantir. We should get something out as we approach the 50 period moving average right there. So it's a good little play there. Let's go. We just get that fill. So right now, my whole morning is it's not hinging on this NVIDIA. It will be pretty much, we have Palantir still going to be red, but this is like our only red name because we have just sort of thrown money at this and not been able to get anything out of it. Like at least Palantir, we squeezed back a little bit right there. NVIDIA just bounced off 22s, which is where we were bidding. So that's not good. It literally just bounced off our bid there. It looks like it's going to go higher. All right, we're going to have to watch out for this VWAP, which is at 107.70 right now on NVIDIA. It looks like it wants to take that. Bad trade there on NVIDIA, but we'll own that one. $1.50 in the money on Amazon, though, and still going higher. What that call for me is one for the ages because we nailed that one. We found it kind of out of nowhere. And here goes NVIDIA up to 108. That's frustrating, man. All of our trades were long, Obi. Yeah, too much noise there.
Market is moving up quite aggressively. We're coming right back into that 18.8. We're trading above 18.8 now. 18.820s is the day high here on the Nasdaq, and then 5,500 as well on the ES. We're trading right there, and yeah, Palantir, a little bit of a push back up through that VWAP. I have VWAP here on this chart sitting just shy of 34 halves. My other chart 34 half as well. Palantir. So yeah, with that 34 got bought up quite nicely. Day low right now is 34.02. Sean trading at 34.60s. Ooh, why don't I have more on this trade? This little consolidation break. We were talking about this. 34 teens come in, and then orders below the bid try to punch in, and I'm like, oh boy, I might get stopped out on this one if we trade a little bit lower. And yeah, that kind of bid comes right back in and pushing above VWAP now. Let's see if VWAP can sustain. We saw yesterday all day long, Palantir got bid up, and those VWAP buyers were definitely there, kind of showing themselves. A little bit of a wash of VWAP. It is an area. It's not necessarily, yeah, it is. It's calculated at a specific price. But again, the market is not necessarily going to be acting in and around that specific price. It's always going to be a little bit of an area. But yeah, sometimes you do get a little lucky and it comes in at that exact price. Oracle with a little bit of a pullback here, so it did get to VWAP, so that reversion to VWAP was quite nice, so a little bit of a one-to-one. I did not participate in that one. Let's see if VWAP holds at this 157 here on Oracle, but oh boy, was that opening drive trade the one to be in today. Again, earnings day one. So far, it's done about 11.5 million shares traded on the day on Oracle. Again, coming in with that pretty positive earnings report on the day today. Let's see. Let's do a quick review of what those. I mean, I didn't really necessarily look at their guidance or anything like that. I don't necessarily look at those fundamental things as much. Maybe I should. But again, price action is king for me. Yeah, some earnings surprise about just above 4% in revenue coming in at about 0.5%. What's going on, Sean?
Saved.
Go.
NVIDIA.
Beauty.
Look at
Those
that.
are shorts.
Yeah, those are shorts. Those were almost like, yeah, shorts send me down the river there on those shorts. But yeah, they come back in, and there it goes right now. Let's go.
Another one.
Baby, and screen, please, when you get a second.
Another one.
We should have just waited. Why did we? So again, our idea to flip it was wrong. We flipped the short there. It is wrong. That's why I'm saying, like, this is honestly a pretty lucky, I mean, luck. I think it's just bad trade management, to be honest with you. We didn't have that many shares. So that part is fine. It's just like, if I think the market's going to break VWAP, and I've identified that I thought NVIDIA was weaker than the market because it was at one point, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be weaker than the market. It doesn't actually mean anything. So we have to be able to judge that a little bit better, and that's my bad. I can talk about all I want, but right now we almost have $1 in the money. So there it is. We'll bid some 95s and get out right there. So just wait for your spot, and you'll be able to hit it. Obi, I'm kind of like a little bit humbled to say this, but we're going to be at the high spot. We've been at all day, and that was pretty irresponsible. In a way, it wasn't actually. It was fine. It's just I wish that I would have been a little more cautious of the levels. That's all. So we nail NVIDIA there, and look at this out on Amazon. And then we don't have the top on Palantir. We have 55s, but so far so good there as NVIDIA now bleeding back in 70 cents in the money. I'm going to take another piece right here at 05s and get another piece out. That was a pretty good trade. I'm asking Randy for a reload. You all good?
I'm good with this. Thank you.
Adara?
No economic data today, but it's been a pretty exciting morning so far for these markets with some earnings both coming up and that we're reacting to. We'll get into that in a minute. We have Fed's bar set to start speaking here at 10 a.m. 12:15, we'll get comments from Fed's Bowman. And, of course, at 9 p.m. tonight, we'll have the presidential election. So keep an eye on DJT as that unfolds. We have GameStop here and watch. They do report tonight after the close. We know this one's been moving since we had Roaring Kitties return to Twitter last Friday. ORCL, meanwhile, they actually reported last night, Oracle beating earnings, getting an upgrade from JMP Securities and some other positive analyst notes, and announcing a collaboration here with AWS. And last but not least, Tesla, TSLA here at high of days, getting this positive note from Deutsche Bank with a $295 price target. Also, Bloomberg reporting that the EU is going to be lowering its tariffs for TSLA from 9% to about 7.8%. So interesting look here for these markets. Let's see what's in store for the rest of the day, guys.
This action is what I'm listening to.
Oh man, there it is, man.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Congratulations to the hot dog man over here to my right.
VWAP hold. I got to get more, man. I'm trying to find places to get more and actually be a little bit more cognizant on where it makes sense to get more and really get a lot more. Like, sure, VWAP hold, you can get a little bit more, but is that really worth skewing my average by punching in aggressively or being a little bit more patient and waiting for a more significant level to kind of punch into and get a lot more aggressive with? And that's kind of something I'm trying to work on right now in my trading as well. That 35 potentially coming in, only about a quarter away. Day highs at 35.20s. If we can break that wick high, Sean, on Palantir, oh boy, have we accumulated some buying pressure?
I mean, Obi, look, I just looked right now, and we don't say this too often, but I'm very, very pleased, obviously, as we go. There's not too many traders behind us. I wish there was a few more, but you and I right now got this one. And it's just really on one trade for you. That Palantir was a monster trade, and I want to say I appreciate that. You're right, Adam Deleuze, man. We are going to keep throwing those punches, man. It doesn't, you know, we just keep on believing in what we're doing here. And I think that that's the number one thing. I mean, I sit beside this Obi guy, and he and I are going to be 1-2 today. And it's just about trading the strategies that we had. We came in here. Obi even mentioned to me, he's like, if Palantir gets down, one of us, like, we have to be involved. And that was very important to me. You know, being able to hear ideas like that, bounce them off of, again, a guy like Obi. Thank you so much for that, Randy, as we go. All right. I'm hearing Faraday futures bouncing right now, popping a little bit higher. FFIE is what it is. Let's go have a quick look at Faraday futures. 475. Nice move up there from 435 up to 475. Faraday trying to go there as well. But I just said to Obi, I'm going to let this ride on NVIDIA. Let's just be right on it. You know, we're back. We're flat on the stock now, by the way. So I feel like pretty good about that one. I don't know if people are going to come in and buy this name. But for now, we'll go short on NVIDIA. We had written down that we really liked the 110 break. It didn't get to that, so no worries on that play for right now. Our Amazon trade has less than 5% of a position left. This came back into there, and I actually just had a pending offer at 179.87 or 89. I like to use 89s right there. I used to really like Alexander McGillney. That name mean nothing to you at all.
No idea.
So that's good. Former Buffalo Sabre, former Toronto Maple Leaf, Russian hockey player.
Okay.
I liked him. Pavel Bure was another name there that we really liked as well. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We were sitting there at 90. I never get out. I don't know about you. Maybe we could talk about this. Do you care that much about those kind of prices? Do you have any superstitions? Neil likes to hit
About what?
a price level. So he likes to use 42s. So like if he's trying to get a bid at 40, he won't bid 40 or 41, he'll bid 42s. Like for me, I'm always 1 or 2 pennies ahead of the dime.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I like.
So if I'm selling,
Yeah.
what was that? I got these are good trades on. So if I'm selling at 90, I like to get out at 88 or 89.
Okay.
And if I'm buying at 80, I like to buy at 81 or 82. Generally, it makes no difference at all.
Yeah.
But it's just something that traders, we have these little quirky things. So do you have anything like that?
Potentially, like I like to use I like psychological levels. I like the holes like multiples of like 25s and halves, like the 150s. I like the 125s. But in terms of like getting in, getting out, not really. I haven't really had anything like that. Yeah, no. If I can ever get anything at like a 42.69, I will definitely go for that one.
What? You're just that guy, aren't you?
Yeah,
you are that guy.
Like if that price ever comes in, if something is trading at 42.69, I will maybe potentially take a fill there. But other than that, no real superstitions. Nothing too crazy there.
I just said I would hold off on getting out of some NVIDIA, but I just put another bid out and got some out at 21s there.
I mean,
so nothing. So no superstition.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. But like psychological levels, I do like to kind of watch for to see if there's anything happening there, especially if something's at all-time highs, right? If something's at places where things have not printed or prices that have not been printed, I definitely give some more consideration to those psychological prices here. The Nasdaq trading just below that 18.8. So we still have not gotten out of that initial 15-minute range on the Nasdaq, but distinctly different is the ES here, pulling back significantly off of that 5,500 level on the ES here. So let's see where that will come into there. Is the Nasdaq a little bit behind? Are we going to get that flush coming in on the Nasdaq as well? I have no idea, but oh boy, is the ES taking a little bit of a pullback here, Sean. And pound here also coming right back into that VWAP 34 halves. Let's see what we do with these levels.
I mean, give me this pullback like immediately, guys. I mean, this is a big trade alert. Again, we are now $1 in the money on the short now for NVIDIA. So I'll put a bid there. We just touched down into 80s. So there it goes. I just put an 81 bid right there again. Shout out to, again, Phil Kessel. Nothing about that either.
No.
Nope. Okay, good. Former Maple Leaf. And he's won like 5 Stanley Cups or something like that.
Wow.
Like Phil Kessel, it's amazing. Yeah,
that's impressive.
He's done really well. That number might not be right, but did not win one with the Toronto Maple Leafs because the Maple Leafs have not won since what year, Obi? 87. I wish, man. 1967.
1967. Damn.
Yep. The year Ramin was not born.
Yeah.
Nor me, nor you.
Before our time.
And nor Adara at the desk.
This part of the show is brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health. Our groundbreaking brain network analytics technology is transforming care for patients with depression, dementia, anxiety, concussions, and ADHD. With 15 years of research and a wealth of brainwave data, we're set to illuminate the future of diagnostics and treatment. Pharmaceutical companies and medical practitioners, get ready. FDA 510K cleared BNA technology is here to supercharge your clinical trials and enhance patient care. Join us at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on NASDAQ as AIFF, and be a part of the next big leap in neuroscience. Ignite hope, one brain at a time.
here. I mean, look, I know that,
Amazon and
excuse me, I know that Firefly is a sponsor here, but I feel like that stuff is super important, man. Brain care, brain health, figuring all that stuff out, ADHD. Okay, so right now the market, anyway, thanks to Dara. I definitely think you guys should all check that out. I have no idea what just happened in the market. The market just ripped like crazy right there. Is it Apple related? Apple, nice move. You mentioned Softy, possibly catching a bid there as well. Let's go and find out.
Straight up.
Yeah, straight up. So if there's any news, obviously we will get that coming through. So
Amazon's coming into that breakout level, dude.
NFL and Amazon Web Services expand partnership to shape the future of football. Okay. That just came through the wire. That obviously has nothing to do with this move. Nice move upside right there for the market. I like the move because we do have that Amazon and that Palantir, and I know it's great for you as well. But we were eventually trying to look at this short. We'll try it one more time here on NVIDIA, but without knowing the news, there's no way that we're going to give back this play. We're already getting stopped out on a break of 108. Let's play a little bit of a reversion play here, Obi, and take that. Look at that, man. We just took that short at what, 70 what? There's 78s, just drips into 50s again there for NVIDIA. So let's put a bid at 51 there. I mean, Obi, man, this is going to be good. We just take that short right there again off the top. When you don't see news, I'm gonna take another bid right here. When you don't see news, I feel like you wanna take advantage of the plays. We just take 2 fills there. We get the reload at 80. Now it's just spilling back in. And I do remember that Hans Beer and everybody there. We do have a Fed speak, I believe, right now. Let me just check it. Let me check. I know we got to go to a dare. Maybe that's what the news is. Let me just check it. You can get it on our watch list right now. Economic events, yes. 10 o'clock, Fed's bar speaking. So go grab our watch list immediately for that one. And we're going to go grab a Dara and figure out what this is all about.
I have eyes on Fed's bars comments pretty much only speaking about Basel III, so not much that I'm seeing as of right now with regards to economic data or the Federal Reserve FOMC related things. I'll let you guys know if that changes. We also do have Fed's moment at 12:15, but Microsoft on watch here, MSFT, though I did not see anything specific about NVIDIA. About 4 minutes ago, we had the information reporting that OpenAI is looking to release its Strawberry model, which is its reasoning specific model. This has been reported since late June. Basically, they're planning on releasing this model as part of ChatGPT within the next 2 weeks, again, according to the information. So MSFT's OpenAI here with this model on watch, guys.
Dumped a little bit there. What's going on?
I mean,
The reload.
No, I'm not good, actually. I'm not good. I mean, it's just, there's the reload. It's just like when things work out, it's like, there it goes. And we did not even bid 107 there. But let's just see if it we just got filled? Oh boy. Thank you, Adam DeLuz. Thank you, everybody in the chat that's saying like Sean is really in the zone here. I don't know if I'm in the zone or not. But we're here.
Oh, the
and we are definitely feeling it right now. We just talked about a dollar club before. This is a reloaded dollar club right now. So there it goes, man. I mean, these are real trades. These are real trades. Really glad to be here with Obi today. We always have good show. We'll hope that Neil can get back into the saddle tomorrow as well. But yeah, so far so good here today. Amazon, 90 cents in the money. NVIDIA, 90 cents in the money. Palantir, 50 cents in the money. It's a 3 for 3 kind of day right now, although Palantir, that hit early sucked. There, wow, okay. We are now riding that bear, baby. There goes, like, for everybody behind us, for everybody watching this, we just reloaded NVIDIA at 107.85 there, 107.79 right there. It is now $1.10 in the money as we will take that piece out. And now we will. Thank you, John Von Sowers right there. Thank you for that talk in the chat, man. Real trading sees real trading, and you got 2 of us right now. So let's go, man. Good trade there. Obi, let's see if Palantir can hold that level. What areas are concerning you about PLTR?
Yeah, so that 34 hold looks interesting right now. Let's see. The market is coming in quite heavily. You can see the ES distinctly heavier than the NASDAQ as it has retraced over 50% of this move since about 4 a.m. here on the futures price action. So let's see what will come in to some of these tickers here. 18,720, that little bit of a double bottom opening range low on the NASDAQ. Let's see if we can hold that level as well. 18.7 potentially incoming, but yeah, these tickers are starting to sell off a little bit. Again, Softy, that was extremely strong right off of the open, is starting to get a little bit of a pullback. So is Amazon, and Alphabet is about to print a fresh low of day. So, and Nvidia is already starting to print low of days. So I see that you are still in that short. Nice short there, Sean. Beautiful.
Nice short.
108. Let's go.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that talk. There it is right now, $1.55. Now in the money, down to 106 and change goes NVIDIA. You're going to have to tell me that one more time in my ear, Fabian, and I'll get to whatever it was. All right, 106 right now. Coming back in for NVIDIA. We had written down some low levels of 105 support. So as this comes in, and you're probably right, Adam Deleuze. Adam Deleuze is like, if this guy's not in the zone, then what does in the zone look like? Yeah, so right now, we're in it, Adam. So you're all right. 106 and change coming back in. Let me put a bid on right there. Then, Obi, I got to prepare something. So can you please take this over for a couple seconds?
Yeah, no worries. Palantir coming into 34.30s, 34 quarters, trading above that right now. But yeah, the futures strong flush. We did break that 18,720, bit of a low there. Opening range lows on the 15-minute here on the NASDAQ. And we traded down into that 18.7. So I was talking to Sean a little bit earlier. I'm like, oh boy, if this kind of cracks, that 18.7 is definitely coming in, or the likelihood of that 18.7 to come in is quite significant as of right now. And that did, I guess, come into fruition. Let's see what we trade, how we trade in and around this 18.7. Are we poised for a little bit of a lower push, or are we going to do a little bit of a bounce? We can see that opening range held for the first 30 minutes. Or the first 45 minutes of the trading session, and then we finally cracked it going into the just past this 10 o'clock mark. 18.7 holding as of right now. Let's see if that 34 can potentially come in here on Palantir. The markets are pulling in quite heavily, so that's selling coming right back in, Sean. So I'm looking at Microsoft. Microsoft potentially it's still holding above VWAP, so that's a good sign there. But NVIDIA, fresh day lows happening. Amazon taking a significant pullback as well. Prior bar lows coming in for a break at that 178. Apple, still nothing really too much. Apple has been trading sideways, relatively muted to the rest of these Mag 7 tickers. Alphabet, Google is attempting to push some fresh lows there. Low of day as of right now is 149.31, and we are trading at 139.40s. On Google. Let's see if the market does a little bit of a bounce. Can we hold this 18.7? We did do a little bit of a crack there, but some of these prior structures here from the morning session being held as of right now. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pickup. Softy with the pullback after some serious strength seems to have pulled the market down a little bit there, as well as it's starting to get a little bit weaker. Can or will Softy revert back to the downside, or are we going to get that continued action here? High of day on Softy, 416.30. What do you are you?
No, like Mike Jack in the chat just goes like, "Hey, dude, JPM's down $10."
What is going on?
And I'm like,
there?
Key? Like, is that what or who? I don't know. But what? Is it? I don't know. But down into 208 right now. Huh? All right, we talked about the weaker banks. WFC was not the weakest. I felt like it was BAC was one of the weaker names to look at. Bank of America right now, where is that cliff? I don't know if it's going to be jumping off of one soon, but 38.60 right there coming into play. 38.60 right there. Wow, NVIDIA, we got a piece out there at 106. We are now light on NVIDIA. 10% left on NVIDIA. Less than 5% left on Amazon. Less than 5% left on Palantir. But right down into there, 38.50, 38.60. I think it's a buy the dip opportunity on BAC right there. Might even be more so on JP Morgan. Brendan came with the story. I thought it was more WFC specific there, but banks have been pulling back. We did look at XFN as well. Okay, thank you. We will get that story in just 1 second right here, right now. Oopsies, I'm on the wrong chat, of course. We'll get that in a couple seconds for you, as I was on the show chat and then I was not. So right now, the story here, JP Morgan current 2025 NII. Expense estimates are too optimistic. Expense estimates are too optimistic there for JPM's Pinto, current 2025. All right, hold on a second. Okay, so there's talk now about AI in my ear. I missed the story again, but let's just address this real quick. It's Amazon. So that JP Morgan, we'll get more on that in a minute. But Amazon right here as a trade has fallen back in. I'd want to respect this 200 period moving average, 177.60s. So I think if we can get a drop into that, we'll try it, and then we'll see about holding it a little bit lower. But I need that bid first and foremost. Don't want to take too much risk here on Amazon. We've already taken that risk. A hold on Palantir seems to be good as well. So we'll wait to see if that can hold. DraftKings, we looked at $38 for DraftKings and talked about that as possibly being a high. Where are we on DKNG right now? Okay, well, I mean, I think we were pretty close to being right there. The high of the day on DraftKings, 37.40 right there coming through. So nice move downside there for DraftKings off that high. NVIDIA still there, Palantir still there, and Amazon. Yeah, we could have rebought that, man. We could buy a 178. I just want to give this one a little bit more room. We've been doing really well here so far today. The funny thing is the chat was on Randy because I was asking Randy for that coffee there and I forgot to switch it over. So thanks, Brendan, for that news there on JP Morgan. So we'll give it a shot at that level again. But yeah, Amazon making that move, AMD making the move. We said we would look at SOXL. Again, today, SOXL was the third biggest stock yesterday for us, and it was just an afternoon trade. So SOXL bouncing again. Look at that trade off the daily chart. It comes almost right into a perfect support level of 25.50 there for SOXL. We're at the highest spot we've... Uh-oh.
Oh, look at that bounce.
Russia...
Look at that 18.7 bounce.
Something about Russia using ballistic missiles? So again, we have the Benzinga Pro in our ear, and we just got that ad read from Adara. But I'll just, if I do hear anything that could possibly be moving, I will get that. And I do not want to avoid this super chat because it was a big one. Thank you so much to Kyle Burdett. Right now, cranking up the Pantera and Metallica. Let's go. Right now, get that guitar out and start just riffing on it. Putting on my Michael Burry Halloween costume. Send a picture of you dressed up as Michael Burry. And I don't know if that's obviously the market coming back down in. Whenever I think about putting on suits, we always think about GameStop because the infamous there, right. Roaring Kitty, going to be possibly tweeting out more today. Right now, I don't know that. I just made that up. I don't want anyone holding out for any possible tweets. I didn't understand that Toy Story tweet. But again, I know it's Chewy. Yeah. I get it. But, let's just see if this actually, I don't want to play with you anymore. Okay, I get it. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything right now, but we'll wait to see earnings today on GameStop. I don't want to promise any kind of a tweet coming out. But what we do have over at the big screen, Fabian, if we are ready, is Adara with an update.
Pretty consistently strong volume here on the way to the downside for the IWM, making a little bit of a bottom here, but pretty much at low of days, down almost 1% is the Russell 2000. Repeat runner here, WHLR. This is Wheeler Real Estate. This is a REIT. This one up about 40%. No news on this, but it has been running semi-frequently. Lots of retail attention, a float of under 2 million shares. We have Design Therapeutics here as well, DSGN. This one announcing that it's going to be participating in the 2024 Cantor Global Healthcare Conference. They do have a short float of about 5%. And last but not least, SMX. This one is called Security Matters. They're not at their high of days here, still up about 50%, but worth noting due to the float, we have about a 590,000 share float and $1.6 million market cap for SMX, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Darren. I do think it's very, very important. We talk about it all the time that we have the advantage right now of sitting on a trading floor. And I also want to tell everybody in the United States that there is an opportunity for everybody right now as well. Check out what's on our screen right now. It is tradethepool.com. Becoming a funded trader means trading with a firm's money instead of your own. Always a good choice. At Trade the Pool, you first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets, which makes sense, while managing your risk. Once you pass, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. You keep up to, and this is a big one, 80% of your profit while the firm covers the risk. It's the perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Join Trade the Pool tradertv.live.com immediately. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the description in the link in the description below on this feed. So Trade the Pool, we want to thank them for coming on. A lot of you guys have asked for funded programs out there and how do we get involved? Of course, we're on Real Trading here, but that's a big one. Again, go find them out, tradethepool.com. Again, a great opportunity. We want to thank them for supporting the show here. Thank you, Trade the Pool, for that. But okay, so GameStop, again, we're not really trading that. We're pretty light on all of our positions right now. So looking to do something here. Crude, I'm hearing in my in my ear. If we can flip over there, Fabian, it's been a minute. Right there. Okay, so USO would be something that we'd want to look for if we were talking about crude. So that would be something here. Look at this move down. Sharif. What? You get to drive in on Friday and put a little less money in the tank. USO down 3 and a bit. Ramin, you get to save on gas. Obi, you talked about driving in today. Save on gas today as there it goes down USO. I filled up the other day, believe it or not, everybody that's in this area, 138.7. I thought that was a good price. Looks like it's getting lower per liter right now as down goes USO. And again, we've heard some ceasefire talk again over the last couple days and weeks. It doesn't seem to be happy. Oh, I hope it happens. That would be great, obviously. But you could see for oil prices, obviously very sensitive to news coming out of anywhere, any part of that world. We had threats from Iran and things like that. So we'll just continue to watch out for this as this comes back in. And again, kind of an important action tonight, right, with the debate. Yep. I mean, energy, although the policies, obviously, you can hear from the conservative side, is going to be a little different. But as you go back and forth there, energy always a hot topic. So we'll see what happens there. And I'm just going by the betting sites. I actually logged in last night, and it was Bet365, a popular site here in Canada. It was 50-50. The odds were 50-50 on the election. So it's going to be a great November, needless to say now. As I always ask ChatGPT, how many days left until election? I haven't done that since 80. So I'm going to guess it's about 60 in change right now. I believe it's November 8th. Is that right? But at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun couple months for not only stocks like DJT, but energy stocks, and of course, big tech as well as we watch out for that US dollar. Yeah, definitely got to be watching some of those tickers. Thank you, Adam. November 5th. Okay, cool. So we still got a few days until that comes in here. I'm watching the Nasdaq, that bounce off of that 18.7. What is currently quite aggressive. We are retracing right back into that opening range kind of area here. Oracle as well, 156 hold, so only can get below VWAP by just about a point before aggressively bidding right back up into these 159s as of right now. Like I said, this thing is probably not going to be done right off of the bat there. Nice little, so it's given a lot of opportunities, right? Nice little opening drive off the open flush. Break of trend, reversion into VWAP, kind of breaks below VWAP a little bit, and now we're getting a potential push back up. Let's see if we make any lower highs below this 160 high of day, or do we kind of continue to the downside here? A JKL with the super chat. I need NVIDIA to get through 107 to 110 like Phil Kessel through a pre-game hot platter. I have no idea what that means, but I'm thinking you might know if you want to comment on that. He put on a little bit of weight near the end of his career, but Phil Kessel. And it's funny because there was like pictures of him. He went and grabbed like a hot dog here when he was playing in Toronto. He's just a character and he's a great guy. I've actually met Phil Kessel before, so nice. It's not a huge deal, but he's just Pittsburgh. I got Carolina Panther, Pittsburgh Penguins player there. So all right, Phil Kessel, Las Vegas Knights as well. All right, a 106.50 coming in. That was a good one. We just reloaded again. So right there, we'll see if we can get a fill. I was just looking at where we'd want this fill. So we just took a couple fills there short against the 200 and against VWAP. And I'm not trying to hold this stock down by any stretch of the imagination. We're just trading what we see. 106.80. Yeah, let's go to 81 since all this Phil Kessel talk. There we go. So that's what I'm talking about. We don't really care too much about the exact pennies here because although you could miss it, for sure. What I do is not rocket science, and thankfully it's not, because then I would be failing at it. I'm just looking for some levels. So, I mean, that's 86, 87. That little drip down there is 73. So if we can get a fill in and around here, now everything I seem to say, his name is Phil Kessel. Now every time. Anyways, if we get a little bit of a drip down in that one, we'll watch out for NVIDIA. Take an 81 fill. I am out of this if we take VWAP. We shorted it again. If we take it right there at 50, let's get out and then just, be lucky to be green on NVIDIA. And a lot of it starts from, Obi, and you and I talked about this, having that trader instinct and flipping it upside down. We were long early, and then we were mad that we flipped it into the short. But then the thesis worked out. We were able to hold on to it, put a big winner on there to the bottom side. So we just bounced off of right there, 87.
The futures.
There we go. Now the future's starting to go. So again, we'll take another fill. We know where our stopping spot is on this. We're short at 32. Let's put a bid now in the teens, maybe because we just got reloaded on that. Then we'll take a 107 and change. We have more shares now. We just got a nice little fill coming through. Here comes NVIDIA, like cutting through that 50 period is the futures. Watch out now. We could possibly get stopped out. We are now flat on this trade. Stop out spot on NVIDIA, breaking through 107.50 to be exact. So we're just going to do that. We also have some bids here. If we're able to get out, we will do it. I'm talking really fast because we do have an update with Adara.
Interesting story and graphic here ahead of the presidential debate tonight at 9 p.m. Gemini here, so that is the crypto exchange run by the Winklevoss twins, actually did this survey of 6,000 crypto owners asking whether or not they'll be looking at crypto with regards to the election and if it'll impact their presidential vote. 73% saying it might have some impact, 37% saying it would be a significant impact. So interesting to think about the role of crypto in the election and with regards to that debate we have tonight. In terms of Bitcoin on the daily chart, very fascinating as we continue to have lower highs, but decent support at that 54,000 level, which some crypto analysts have mentioned as well. Currently around 57,000. We did have a pretty strong wick of resistance here to that 58,000 level yesterday. So let's see how we hold up here. Up about 3% on, up about 3% of the day here for Bitcoin. 2.5% for Ethereum, nicely above that 2,300 level, and strength across the board for a lot of these other cryptocurrencies and crypto-related names heading into tonight's potentially interesting debate here. 3% for BNB, 6.5% here for Solana, 5% for Dogecoin. Let's see what tonight and what the election brings with regards to crypto, guys.
I was actually...
what's your opinion on that?
No, my opinion is crypto could rip tonight because if you think about that, what she was just talking about right there, I don't think Kamala will mention it. But if Trump does, people that are potentially, I just think it's low-hanging fruit for either candidate.
Yep.
Like, if that's going to be true and people might vote where their crypto money, like a lot of people have invested in Bitcoin. I think we can talk about that. They have just the same amount of votes as a Wall Street guy. So the thing is that if Donald can come out tonight, talk positively on crypto, can he gain some support from the crypto community, in which could mean a couple thousand votes here or there. And we know that if it's going to be a tight race, then potentially, just some swing states there. And I don't know, is California, is New York? I don't know where all the crypto hodlers are located. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good sign right there. And oh boy, Obi, we doing it again, man. We just reloaded NVIDIA off VWAP. So here it comes back in. Let's take some more bids out right now. We'll bid some 14s. We just shorted 40s again, or whatever this level was right there. 40s, and now we're getting out at O's. And there it goes again, coming back in, Obi. What a day to trade. It's 10:30, and there we go again and again and again, man. We are reloaded. We are losing our voice, but that is par for the course.
Yes, sir. No, definitely some... Exciting moves there on NVIDIA as, Sean, you keep reloading that VWAP, and that's what, a 50 moving average there as well. Right there, I know you like to use that one there. So a little bit of a resistance coming in with confluence with some of those indicators, and Sean keeps on reloading. Those are solid trades there, kind of churning that NVIDIA out as it dances along the lines of that VWAP. Again, futures, oh boy, we kind of we flushed down. We broke that opening range low. We bounced off of that 18.7. We ripped all the way back up. We look like we're about to test that 18.8, and now we're pulling right back in. So a little bit of a consolidation, chop happening here on the NASDAQ today. The ES sold off quite aggressively, significantly more aggressive than did the NQ. But some spicy action nonetheless. And JPM, we were talking about that earlier, Sean. Yep. JPM still trading to the downside there, still getting sold off as of right now. So something's definitely going on over there. 34 still holding here on Palantir. Will it continue to hold? I have no idea, but we will kind of continue to observe this ticker. 157.30s on Oracle. So we did make a lower high there on Oracle, just shy of that 159, and we're coming right back into VWAP as the futures, well, the NASDAQ trades pretty much sideways within its opening range. ES, distinctly different story there as of right now. So I'm looking at some of these tech names here, kind of flat, again, trading within their opening ranges there as well. Softy still surprisingly holding that VWAP, Sean. So that thing has still, and again, opening price was 408. High of day is 416. So we did almost an 8-point move right off of the open, and we're sustaining the hold above VWAP. So Softy definitely relatively strong on the day here, and so is Apple. Apple did give us a little bit of a flush off of the open, 216.70s, and then that 220 high of day incoming as of right now. So let's see if Apple can continue to push to the upside. Alphabet still holding near its low a day there, and Nvidia still doing a little bit of a chip chop to well, not really to the downside, but more sideways on Nvidia. So going to keep that one on watch as well. There, Sean, I see that you're still holding on to that Nvidia as it comes right back up into some of those levels. So what is the plan on for you on that one there?
Yeah, so we just got out at the 50 period. Again, we only hold less than half now of what we had there because, and thanks for bringing it up, Obi, because I think it's very important that we have to decide what exactly we want to do, right? I mean, it's 10:35 right now. We can do nothing. We are, you know, because of some of these reloads, we are going to have a decent spot right here and be comfortable with what we're doing. The one trade that we just put on, our newest trade, was a reload of Amazon, and we reloaded another 5%, a whopping 5%. So we now have 10% of the position that we'd want here on Amazon. But the interesting thing about this one is, although this is above VWAP right now, and we find with the market right now, we may switch over into TQQs very soon because I'm not trusting some of the reads. And I'll tell you that because we really like the long on Amazon. Did it get exhausted up there at 180? Amazon by far. I made more money today on Amazon than we did on Palantir yesterday. More money on Amazon today than we did on Tesla yesterday. And those were our top two stocks. So we nailed this. We're upping our shares on some of these plays early, and it's been paying off. But the one thing I don't want to do is throw it away late. So we are still going to respect this 200 period moving average. I want to get a little bit more in there at 177.75. If we're able to buy that, great. And then if we drop below 177.50, honestly, I'm not even waiting for these bottoms. I'll give this to 50 and then we're out. So that's a quick little talk, a small one there on what we're doing on Amazon. So there was, let me go find this guy in the chat right here because it was a good move there. No, so unfortunately in fantasy football, I had Marvin Harrison Jr., so thank you so much, Profit Monsters. He did absolutely nothing. We'll go 0-1, but thing is, I still beat half the league, but I faced the guy that came in second. The guy had Saquon Barkley and Joe Mixon, each put up 40 fantasy points in our pool, so I couldn't do much about that. We'll be back, man. And then my quarterback, of course, I have Jordan Love and Justin Herbert and Will Levis. And so I got to go now with Levis and Herbert, which could be a problem. Okay, the TLT tracks long-term U.S. Treasury bonds, again, at 20-plus years. So we have interest rates on the 18th of September, so coming next Wednesday, so a week tomorrow, we will get that quarter point cut. And as you can see right now, Treasury definitely understanding that one. And looky what I see right here. Oh, and it was, I'm trying to find who mentioned, there was John Del Segno. I hear Sharif often mention that guy's name, so shout out to John Del Segno, who's definitely been here for and often for a minute. Big John, he goes, reflects market sentiment of futures interest rates and economic conditions on the TLT. So that continues to go higher as we push. As the NASDAQ trying to find its footing, it looks like rates upside right now, TLT pushing higher. So we'll have to wait to see about the relationship between the TLT and the NASDAQ and some of the US dollar as well. So a good look there, Mr. Del Segno, for that one. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Yeah, I got that. You know, I don't want to say he's one of my boys because he comes from God's country. That's not right. All right, so here we go. Upside move here. We just bought some more, and we got a decent fill. 176s. Oh no, Fed's bar talking right here. So we'll figure out what's going on. Let's get a piece out at 90 if we can for NVIDIA. Take 15 cents on the reload, and then see if we can get VWAP. But again, 25 cents of a hit, a downside right now, and we will get out there. Palantir is what right now? Okay, you're still in it.
I got out and then
you got out and back in. Good level. Yeah.
That when it broke through that 34, that selling did come in quite aggressively.
Amazon, wow.
Definitely taking out a bunch of stops there below that 34 mark.
75s.
What are you doing with Amazon?
Oh, go ahead. Tell me, Sharif.
No, so that 34. That breakdown was aggressive. I did get out, and then it flushed. That 34 came in real hot, printing low of day right now at 33.85, trading just underneath that 34. So yeah, we did hold. I guess we've been holding underneath VWAP, so that is something I do have to consider and respect on Palantir. A little bit of distinct different action than yesterday, where we were holding above VWAP, and today we're holding quite a little bit under it. So not a little bit, definitely under it. So VWAP selling is definitely, I guess, in charge as of today. Something else that is to the downside there, Sean, is Meta. Meta coming into 503s. But before we talk about that, I'm going to pass it back to Dara for Sector Watch. What's up?
Yeah, Meta, part of one of the more kind of mixed to positive sectors here, technology services. Microsoft nicely green. We did get some updates from OpenAI as reported by information. Oracle also strong here after earnings. In terms of electronic technology, it's a little bit more mixed. Apple to the downside with regards to that fine here with back taxes for Ireland. We have Broadcom and NVIDIA sharply to the upside. The rest of the sector kind of mixed. Let's talk about the rest of this board because there are some really interesting things here. Energy minerals weak across the board. Both crude oil and diesel futures here actually reaching their lowest levels since December 2021, so almost 3-year lows, sending energy minerals to the downside. We have finance also very interesting here. Both JPM and Goldman Sachs weaker. Both companies actually having their Goldman Sachs CEO and JPM president releasing weaker than expected guidance or some guidance updates not well received here by the market. In terms of strength, though, retail trade actually not too weak here. Amazon and Walmart both to the upside. Health technology has some strong players here as well. Bit of a mixed board here as we have almost flat trading for both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Let's see what happens from here, guys.
Thank you, Adara. Right now, okay, we got reloaded again on NVIDIA, and we almost got the other way on that one. But there it is, another 50 cents. I mean, we just went short there at 107.50. I mean, it was the VWAP level. We went short there on NVIDIA, gave it 10 more cents. Oh my, Obi. This is coming in again into 13s. There it goes, NVIDIA. Flushy, right there, a quick 50 cents again on NVDA. We only have one red name today. It will be Sir Palantir and Alex Karp right now today. He maybe took some profits, but we're coming back in. If this breaks 75, we gone on this one, man. 75, we're coming into the 50 period moving average, which is at 62. That could be a spot. We could look to reload that one right now, but yeah, man, today's going to be a big, huge day for us. And I was sort of, when we were talking about it, it was this name, Amazon. Got a good reload there and a couple outs above 178 as we're falling back in right now on Amazon. But oh boy, it's another 50 cents here on NVIDIA as we reloaded that and the market coming in and hurting some of the longs right now, but it's a good thing that we're short. Right now, Amazon 177.80. We're going to give this 20 more cents. This breaks 177.50. We're gone. We took 20 cents there. We'll give it right back in a couple seconds. It's the reload on NVIDIA that's making them dance right now. 106. Are we still at that Phil Kessel level? Let's put one there right now. 106.81. We'll see about Uncle Phil and giving us that fill right there on the downside. Palantir, unfortunately, my friend, Obi.
Yeah, trading much lower.
Yeah, not a friend of ours, I don't think, today, as Palantir continues to make moves lower and lower and lower. We're trying it right here at 75. If that's a breaker, then we are gone. Palantir giving some back today, man. I mean, in an up market, I would have lost a bet that Palantir would be red. So, we'll just sit there and wait for it.
Yeah, no, I think waiting is the right game to play with this one. Here, 34 is broke down. We're trading below that anchored from yesterday as well, kind of that S&P 500 add anchor that I did point out. So we did kind of attempt to hold that. I did attempt another long right there for a potential hold of this level, and we didn't quite hold it or sustain it quite well. So we're trading much lower right now. 3370s incoming here on Palantir. So yeah, VWAP hold, couldn't really hold it there. Attempts at another push towards VWAP, not really there. Getting stopped out on the push on the back through some of this consolidation right here, trading further to the downside. So yesterday, let's take a quick look at some of yesterday's levels. 75s potentially right here. We're trading at those right now. Down here, 3340s as well. That second time it held VWAP yesterday. So let's see if it can come into there. Only trading about 30 pennies away from that. As I'm watching the tape here, a lot of dark reds coming in. So below the bid, hitting on Palantir as it makes its way to the downside here. And again, futures looking a little bit red as well, especially on the ES rather than the NASDAQ there. So let us know in the chat what you guys are trading here. Yeah, so the anchor chain broke, says FinChain. Yeah, exactly. So that anchor did break the anchor that was anchored to prior day's push off of the S&P 500 add news there. So we are trading below that. That's something I do want to consider. That 34 has been or was a little bit of an interesting level for me. I did write it down in the morning session, and we were trading below that. So Softy also coming into VWAP here. Let's see if that can break VWAP with the market pulling back in that aggressively. I'm curious to know whether we trade a little bit lower on Softy, but something that is printing day lows right now is Alphabet. Alphabet trading at just shy of 149s. 148.96 is here on Alphabet today. So that thing is definitely the weakest of the bunch, it would seem, Sean. But something else that's pretty weak is also Meta. Meta is definitely up there when it comes to top constituents. And that thing, high a day, 514, trading at 502.60s as of right now. So, oh boy, that thing has been sold off quite aggressively since the opening session there, looking a little distinctly different than some of the other Mag 7 names here on the day. 3370s, I'm going to stay patient. I said today I'm mainly going to be focused on Palantir and Oracle, and maybe potentially other things if they happen to fall into my lap. But we'll be patiently waiting. Let me know in the chat what you guys are trading. So Nick W saying, Obi, been short Meta off of 512.50. Oh boy, congrats on that trade. That trade is definitely coming in real nice for you. As again, we talked about where Meta is trading at. Meta is trading at 502s. So you are more than 10 points in the money on that one. So congrats to you on that. Now, something else that's continuing to sell off here, Sean, is JPM. JPM continues to make lower lows. 204.89s trading. Last time we looked at it, it was at 207. The time we looked at it before, it was at 208s, 210s. Oh boy, these banks are definitely selling off. Let's take a quick look at XLF and see what XLF has been up to right here. So XLF 45 breakdown. Look at that. A little bit of a consolidation chop happening right now. Tight consolidation. 44.30s to 44.20s here on XLF. So we've got to stay patient with that one. What do we do with that range? I have no idea. I'm still watching Palantir as it attempts to make some fresh lows there. Day low right now, 33.71, trading at 33.75. No sign of a bid as of right now, so not really looking anywhere. I don't want to chase a short. I don't want to catch a falling knife on the long, so I will stay patient, stay seated on my hands for the next trade to show up here, Sean. But what do you got going on? I see that you are in a couple of positions yourself.
Yeah, what's up, Nick W? Getting some inspiration from me. Thank you. I hope you are. I mean, that's what we're trying to be here for, is give some good feels, give some good trades, and some good talk. And I'm really, really Obviously, always honored to be here with Obi. So good talk there.
There is definitely.
And in the stubbornness, hey, it's me. Yeah, we're gonna get Palantir one more try.
I like that. I mean, I'm waiting for that as well.
The only stock, okay. I'm long right now at 80s. Okay. The only stock that we've lost on today, so I guess that would be appropriate, is Palantir. We are back long at 80. It just went to 86s. Maybe let's take a piece out at 85 there because, you know, these pops happen and we've been involved in them, but we haven't gotten out fully when it's popped. I mean, this one was great. Actually, I guess we did. This was really the only pop, and we did have a good out there. It didn't pop recently for us, so we'll take an 85. All right, and then we'll take a 90. Okay, Obi, we back, baby, temporarily on Palantir as we just get some out there at 90s. Sorry, it was 88s on that break higher. Let me put a fill at 90, and if we can get that, then good for that trade. We did get our Phil Kessel down there as NVIDIA does bounce off of 80s, and it does go as low as 66s right there. So that would be, of course, someone that you definitely know, this player, Mario Lemieux. Obi,
No. Who?
Okay.
Go Sports.
Go Sports. Yeah, yay trading and yay sports. Okay, there it goes. Nicely done to the upside right now. You do live in this country. Nothing about, you don't know the team, the sport.
I fly in from Oceania every morning.
This guy's a living avatar over here. No, but of course, Pittsburgh Penguin great, Canadian hockey legend, Mario Lemieux, who unfortunately did have a battle with leukemia and had to end his career slightly shy. I believe it was 34, 35, which is pretty early, needless to say, and probably would have just been doing amazing otherwise, but did pass the torch off to who? Sidney Crosby.
Lemieux did that.
Lemieux did that. Good one. Yeah, okay, no, yeah, there we go. There we go. Yes. All right.
Hey.
All right. It's 10:50 right now. Someone who's made a lot of money in hockey are both those individuals. So we will go right now over to Adara and figure out what's going on with Money Talks. That was fun.
We're continuing to find really nice support here on the DXY daily chart with our third straight green candle here after making that very bullish looking candle for the US dollar here on Friday. Let's see if we're able to clear this potential resistance at that 101.70 area on the daily chart. In terms of events here, no economic data to speak of. We had Fed's Barr speaking at 10 a.m., mostly about the Basel III proposal, but Fed's Bowman coming at 12:15, notably hawkish, so keep an eye out for those comments in just about an hour and a half here. Again, we also have the U.S. presidential debate coming at 9 p.m. tonight, so stay tuned for that as well with regards to how that could move the U.S. dollar. Then we'll get CPI and PPI, our biggest prints of the week so far, Wednesday and Thursday respectively. So keep an eye on those ahead of the FOMC meeting next Wednesday, September 18th. Also, in terms of currency, be aware of the CAD to USD here, falling to about 3-week lows. We have Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem making some comments saying that, quote, if inflation is weaker than we expect, it could be appropriate to lower rates more quickly to lower than expected here inflation with regards to consumer spending and labor market. So interesting notes here, causing the CAD to the downside, guys.
The CAD, right now, we did take some more out on Palantir right here for flat as it does break below. We get out of another 10% at 80. We still have 70%. Each one of these tranches were 10%. So I was just telling that to Obi, the best we got was 88s. There's another 87, which is Sidney who? Crosby, did you say?
Yes.
Good job. So now 33.80 coming into play again. Let's just hold on to this one and see if we can get a little bit higher, Obi. I see both you and I are back in this name. 34 seems like it could be a little bit of a wall there. Yeah. We've had some ticks there, but if we get 34s, I think both of us would be pretty happy. Yeah. So let's see if we can get back to the upside right now with some 34 action on Palantir. I do have an offer, though, Obi, at 90s, and then that's it. So we'll see if we get that 90 one more time, and then we'll wait for like 98s. We'll see if we can get that, which of course is Connor Bedard.
No, I like that. We're holding underneath some of those levels from before. But yeah, we did break below the opening range lows quite significantly. We did hold VWAP as resistance. We broke below this low as well through 34, and we're holding 33.80s right now. Couldn't really print below 33.71. Bit of a doji kind of action there, but again, maybe not the best place, but definitely a place where something did show up just a little bit there. I did like the tape on that, as well as the bids came in rushing into 90s. The ticker. So 33.90s printing right now as the NASDAQ rips right back above 18.7.
Isn't that crazy?
Sean, oh boy. Look at all this volatility, but we're getting nowhere.
I know.
All this volatility, we're getting nowhere. So it is like, I'm trying to look for anything that's ranging right now. Like, what is ranging right now that could potentially be kind of like churned or farmed? I'm not seeing too much, but maybe, yeah, I guess NVIDIA, right?
I was going to say NVIDIA,
yeah,
and I think
NVIDIA. You're doing that already. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I appreciate the look right there. Yeah, we are turning through NVIDIA. Look at this. Short, more shorts, thank you. Yeah. And you're right back in here, although we have noticed, obviously, that we did drip a little bit here on NVIDIA, and I didn't get out. So I'm just going to adjust my stops here and make sure that we're still all good. So I did put a bid down into here. My bid is now at 50s. I was letting this thing really come back in, but as Obi and again had mentioned there, we're not going too far. It's funny because Brendan said, like, what's the look here? And I was like, long. And the #1 trade today, and been really put in our pocket. There goes Palantir, by the way.
It's
was this Amazon long. I'm up infinitely more on Amazon than anything else. I am pleasure to sit with P&L master over here, Obi. But there goes Palantir, man. Right into that level. We'll put this into the gates of hell today. It's the only red stock that I have on board, but that's because we took some shares there. Thought we were like really cute with it early, and then really made back a decent chunk. And I don't want to say we're going to be red on this name because I don't know. But for right now, I think we've got it, and we've got it good. Hopefully that's understood. Look at Tesla. News is out.
Tesla news.
I have Tesla in my ear. If Adam's going to say something in the chat, I know.
So XLF broke that.
Hard to find real traders. He is a real one. I know you're a real one as well there, Obi. So Tesla right now with the nice little move back up. We were looking initially at 222 breaking long. That has just been a great support level, and I honestly missed it. We hadn't been looking over here, but it is on the sticky note if you want to go find trade ideas. And I actually haven't showed it once today since we started, so let me just bore everybody and show them one more time here. What we were looking at today, oracles, man, 150 long. That, unfortunately, was a great call, but hard to get as it kind of went straight up to the upside. Palantir dip buys into 34. Well, that's where we're at right now. So we'll see if that can work out. We have got a little too early on Palantir. We talked about that because we did look at VWAP. It did not break 35, but we did look at VWAP holding. It did not do that. There's the Tesla 222, looking at 216 as a holding spot there. As I said, we're be up today, not as much as we were yesterday, because we do have that L on Palantir. Yesterday, I think we were close to 5 for 5. Amazon was a good long, and then there's the NVIDIA back and forth. So that's what's on the sticky note there today, just some ideas that I jot down, and I have about, we've been doing them every day since the show started, so 200 and by the way, I know Neil's on a sick day today. We're feeling good. We'll be here. And we're pretty much, I don't think we have one sick day registered yet this year. And I don't think we had one last year. So far, so good. Feeling really good. And the sticky note does come out every single day. They do force us to take vacations around here. But anyways, there it is, the sticky note. We've been doing it every single day. So market's open, what, 250 something?
250
days
something, yeah.
A year. So over 1,000 sticky notes or so. So far have been produced. There goes NVIDIA now, 70 cents. We are looking for that bottom. We do have Palantir, buddy. That's going to be a good one. Any target areas for you on PLTR? Again, up in the money now, 25 cents.
Here's the thing. We've been selling off of VWAP, off of the open, right? So VWAP comes in off of the open, can't really hold, sells off. We try to claim VWAP. VWAP holds for a little bit there. It attempts to push 34.80s, 34.70s highs. We can't really hold anymore. Our rebid here off of 34.20s, which looked pretty interesting, pushes back up into VWAP. Can't really get quite to VWAP, and then flushes in through the day low. And now, essentially, we kind of broke through that 34, couldn't trade below those 70s right here, 33.70s day low right now. and then we're pulling back up. So the question becomes, can we get back to VWAP? And are these sellers that have been there since the open on Palantir in and around that VWAP, will they show back up? So in terms of target, I'm waiting for price action if and when Palantir can get back up to VWAP here. VWAP I have on my screen at 3430s right here in and around some of those prices. So let's see if we can get, we're only about 20 pennies away from that on Palantir. Now, something I do want to ask is what is Palantir's ATR? So I do want to kind of play off of that as well. Again, not doing as much relative volume as it was yesterday. Today I have our vol at like 1.3, 1.4. Yesterday, significantly more. Again, we talked about it, kind of sustaining an average R vol of 5 and above for the whole day. So yeah, significantly less today. Again, coming in off of a high R vol day. Not earnings catalyst. Catalyst day 2 is the play on Palantir today, and we are holding some of those levels from yesterday. Again, yesterday's very last VWAP hold was 3340s, and we've held above that at 3370s as of right now. Let's see if we can push into VWAP. Again, 3430s, only about 20 pennies away from that level, and I'm going to stay watching to see if that VWAP, if the VWAP selling kind of persists. Maybe we don't even get to VWAP, Sean, right? Maybe we get close to VWAP and the selling is so aggressive or so distinct that we just pull back off without even getting all the way there. So again, all different things that I am kind of waiting to notice on Palantir in terms of a target, but no real specific prices other than let's see what it does at VWAP to look for that continuation.
I know, again, an absolutely fantastic show. Thank you, Obi, as we get ready to wrap this thing up. I want everyone to make sure that they stay tuned. Just because me and this guy, this handsome gentleman, are now done, we have another handsome gentleman ready to go. It's going to be Sharif as well. And of course, you've been seeing Adara all morning. She'll be joining Sharif right now as we talk about fan principle. So we'll see about that. More strategies. Look, the thing about trading is, like, I've never heard of this principle, but
about that trend acceleration.
I like that one right there. And the thing is that you got to trade off something.
Or decelerate.
And I definitely like that one. I missed that. I don't know what exactly.
Switching through the gears.
You got it. You're in your Model S. And I did want to say also one more note there. I think a snooze notification just went off on my phone. It's not 11 at night, man. It's 11 a.m. We're not shouldn't be sleeping at this time. But I did want to say one more thing, and I now forget what it was. Oh, JP Morgan, its worst day all year, down 6.5%. And we did have that story early. Thank you for you guys in the chat. Thank you, Brendan, for that one as well. They'll be covering that. But there was one more thing I wanted to say, and I lost my train of thought. So that's all good. But it is now 11 o'clock. Thank you to Obi. Let's see what happens now with Palantir. Let's see what happens with NVIDIA. And let's go see what happens with the midday show. Get your learn on with Sharif and Adara. I almost said Adobe again. There it goes. Adobe's still coming to report.
Friday.
Very, very soon. All right, let's get our trade on with the midday show. Thanks, everybody.